The Pro-Am grid has been stacked to start the spring season of BSRTC, and adjustments have subsequently been made. Barrier, Seal, McEwen, and more are all bumped up to Pro as of this week, and that means our Pro class just got way more interesting beginning this evening at the virtual Knockhill racing circuit. Hello and welcome to Pit Stop TV in the virtual Knockhill. I'm Andrew Cardinal the 4th with JP Costa alongside, and it's Knockhill Reverse once more, JP, and we've already heard from the MX-5 drivers that this direction of the course really changes things up. They don't like it as much, and every corner obviously is a little bit different. What are you expecting today with these touring cars? I know we've talked about maybe the cars being more, I guess, forgiving over some of the bumps, over the curbing, but I'm not so sure.
Yeah, I actually, to be honest, I don't know what to expect from these cars because, you know, the jumps, we mentioned, I guess, pre-broadcast last time out, that, you know, I was scared that the jumps would cause quite a bit of damage to the cars. Some drivers are not feeling that way, but yeah, I actually have no idea what to expect. I know it's going to be challenging, I know it's going to be fun, but that's about it.
It's going to be an interesting day of racing. I know we always say, at least I always say that. We kind of always come back to that point, but you can also see it is a little bit dark at the moment. It is definitely just before sunrise, and waiting on that sun to come up over the horizon. That means lights are technically on for these cars. You can see as they go by here on the backstretch, their lights are on. You can see Mick Anderson going fastest in qualifying, 10 minutes to go, but let's go ahead and go to our track map, our whole usual run of things. You can see it's the same track, the same layout that we had last season, but in a different direction. Turn 1 is now Taylor's, Turn 2 is Railway Bend, Turn 3 is Clark. Turn 4 is that Chicane, 5 as well. Butchers is Turn 6. McIntyre to head you back up towards, well, what is no longer Duffus Dip, but I guess Duffus Hill, if you will. That's 8 and 9 that wraps up your lap. It's a very short lap here at Knockhill. It goes by very quickly, but there's a lot of places you can go wrong. Yeah,
absolutely. There's plenty of places there you can really struggle quite a bit, so it's going to be interesting to see where drivers will struggle. We saw a few on the MX-5, you know, struggling quite a bit through turn 3, obviously through, you know, the chicane, and obviously, you know, through turn 7, and we saw, I guess, 3 cars really losing at turn over 9, so different cars, different challenges, we should see different mistakes.
We're going to see a lot of mistakes, I think, today, so especially with the way, of course, these are front-wheel drive cars. You get on the power, and they tend to go, well, not where you want them to go. They tend to go straight. Once you get on the power, that's, you know, it's understeer with a touring car. I think everybody here knows how that works, but we're going to see a lot of these guys run wide, I think, especially out of Taylor's, turn 1, especially on that opening lap, and I'd say even out of Clark, and I think Butcher is another place they'll run wide. I don't think McIntyre is going to be too big of a deal. We didn't see too many cars run wide in the Miatas there on Tuesday, so I really do think it's just those couple of 3 spots, turn 1, 3, and 6, where we'll see some cars go wide, but we'll also see, of course, some side-by-sides bring us some issues into that chicane throughout the course of the day. 4 races as per usual, 15 minutes apiece, and they've led to this point standing so far from Silverstone and Donington Park. We've got 4 more of them today. They're going to change things up, but you can see where all those blue names of the past are now white. They are now pro. McEwen, let's see, McEwen, Davies, Lee Holmes even, Michael Seal, Neil Ferrier. So literally 5 out of your top 10 have all moved up from Pro-Am to Pro.
Yeah, that's going to leave things a lot more interesting for, I guess, all classes as well. Obviously, now the top 7 is full of pro drivers. That's going to leave it way more open for them. Obviously, they still need to catch Holman and McKee, obviously Holman mainly. And also, Andrew leaves a bunch of new spaces for the other classes. Sutherland now leads the Pro-Am. Hardy just, 19 points behind him. And then Benison is leading the amateur class in the top 10 overall. Really good to see. Now the classes are really closer. This should bring even more interesting racing.
And you can see the top 9 are all within 200 points. Then the next 11, 10th through 20th, are all within just under 80 points. There is a big separation, though, of nearly 100 points, 94 it looks like, between Hardy and Benison at 9th and 10th. And then things get close again. It's only 7 from Benison back to Malcolm. Malcolm is only 3 ahead of Jackson, and Craig Schill is only 7 more behind Rob Jackson, rather. So these guys are all very close. Tom Mayle is back there, right there with Craig Schill, and Sir Alan Toon, who's in the top 15. You see Duncan Cope, Andrew Littler, they're only a point apart. Martin Shirley and Mick Anderson, they're both tied currently at 18th and 19th spots. And let's see, Martin Johnson, I want to say, Mark Johnson sounds a little right. They're in the 20th spot. Things are very, very close from the 10th through 20th, but there is that big separation, I think, really splitting this field up as we go into round number 3. Speaking of round number 3, take a look at our schedule. Sonoma next up. That's, well, I don't know. I really don't know yet.
Yeah, Sonoma's going to be interesting, Andrew. It's one of your favorites, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
And it's definitely one of my, I guess, because it's an underdog circuit. I'm not quite sure if that's going to be the term, but I absolutely love racing this circuit, you know, on other sims, and unfortunately had not had the opportunity to race it on iRacing. But from what I have the experience here on Pit Stop TV, it's always has been a blast. And with these guys, the action they provide, the inverts, the short racing, it's bound to be fantastic.
I'm looking forward mostly to, let's see, Sonoma, Watkins Glen, Road Atlanta, maybe Daytona. Well, actually Daytona as well. The action we saw last season was second to none, and of course Sebring's going to be interesting to close this season out. That's not to say anything against Elkhart Lakes, Road America, or Canadian Tire Motorsport Park, but I really do enjoy Sonoma. I really enjoy Road Atlanta. We'll see how those courses go. Sonoma next week on that shorter course that we convinced these guys to run on. That's going to be interesting. Turn 4 that heads you down through that chute as opposed to taking the carousel. That is going to be really difficult, I think, with these cars. The way you get on power and head up over those curbs, we might see a driver or two hit that wall, but of course that is in a week's time. We'll get there when we get there. Let's go ahead and go down trackside and go and check out qualifying, because Andy McEwen, who is no longer in car 504 but is in car 18 now, as he's been moved up to pro. Yeah, he is quickest so far. And, you know, to start the season out, he said, oh, man, I'm not one of these touring car guys. I don't think I'm going to do that great this season. 2 weeks later, he's a pro.
He was sandbagging for the first 2 rounds of the season. Now he's really showing his
sandbagging.
cards,
He won last week.
Oh, yeah, true. So, yeah, he was sandbagging for the first round, and, well, he goes even faster this lap. So he's really adapting himself well, Andrew, I think, to the TCR, and it's really good to see him doing so. Currently leading from Nathan Davis and Chris Knox as well. The whole top 4 less than 0.2 of a second away. So, yeah, really good to see these guys. And does he improve his lap? No, not at this time. But Chris doing a fantastic job. Really close between the top 3, which I really like. Lee Holmes in 4th place.
But you're missing the point that he's on RD SimSport now. He's not in his Lego paint. He is on RD SimSport. That is big time, actually, for Chris Knox. The fact that he's on a team, that is very different. And not in car 23 either, as he goes onto 2 wheels there. Bicycles through Clark. That is very interesting that he is on RD SimSport. I did not expect that whatsoever. So big there for Chris Knox. Lee Holmes is in the 4th spot for 88 Tech, and Joe Winter completes your top 5 in that new Hyundai Veloster. Not many drivers opting for it, but Joe Winter has been one of those that has stuck with it. I think most of the Exemplia drivers have done so far. Sam Smith, your leading Pro-Am driver so far for the SimTech Racing 527, and he is well ahead, actually, of Daniel Martin, but that gap could be closed up.
Yeah, he's currently 1.5 tenths away, and with that little drift right there, I don't think he's going to be improving so far. Manner's currently sitting in 3rd place on the Pro-Am class. I was going to say he was on the Prime Video Audi, but he's on the Civic right inside the Audi. So yeah, he's currently in the top 10, which is really good. Carl Hardy looks like he's just outside of the top 10, currently 1.1 behind the leader, trying to improve, but that's not going to be enough. Johnson right behind him, less than a 10th behind him in 12th place, then Roger Morton, and then we come up, Andrew, to the amateur leader, which is, well, currently Fiona Siddons.
Yeah, Fiona definitely looking to get some good rounds in this week at Knockhill. If you go to the standings, Fiona's actually mired quite a ways down the order in 23rd. Would like to move up into that top 20 at the very least and get up there with the rest of her pro compadres. Of course, Dale Bennison in 10th. You've got Alan Toon, Duncan Cope, and Andrew Littler in 15th, 16th, 17th. So she's definitely got some work to do here at Knockhill, and this is a good start to the day. Fiona across the line does not go any faster. And we still got 3 minutes left in this qualifying session. I'm surprised there's just a few cars on the racetrack, but I think we're seeing a lot of quali bands. We've got Michael Steele, Alistair Hatcher, Robin Walters, James Neve, Scott and Malcolm, Shane Piggott. Actually, Malcolm, I think, just turned a lap. I'm not entirely certain, but I no longer see him down there. Regardless, we've got some 12 cars, it looks like, in the pit lane, including Craig Schill. You can see him there through the 965. I believe that would be Sir Alan Toon. Yes, it is. So Craig Schill's in the pit lane, James Neve is in the pit lane, Robin Walters is in the pit lane, and then Michael Steele, Alistair Hatcher, Scott Malcolm, Stephen Daly, Shane Piggott, James Holman, Adam Fox, and Neil Ferrier are all not even in their cars. And again, I would definitely imagine they're serving quality bands. It's a lot of cars, though.
Yeah, only 19 cars setting qualifying laps so far, which is really low. It's gonna make the racing more interesting, I guess. You can kind of count these. Nah, you cannot count this as an invert, but a lot of pro drivers already, you know, starting on the back foot, you can say. So, yeah, really interesting. But with 1:50, Andrew, I guess the time is up. If these drivers wanted to come back into the pits, you know, get new tires, probably fill up a little bit on their car. So, yeah. Looks like whoever is still on the racetrack, well, that's going to be their final 2 or 3 laps.
I'm still just so surprised to see Chris Knox in these RD Simsport colors. Very, very unexpected here for Chris. I really did not expect that at all. So he's still in his Lego livery over in the Miatas. We saw that on Tuesday, but now over into the RD Simsport number 88 on Thursdays. That's really, really cool. Just very different, but I think that's a really good addition to their team. If you recall back to Brands Hatch last season, I kind of called them as I called them Rowdy Simsport because they were just absolutely all over the place, really aggressive, and were generally rowdy. He is one of those drivers, I think, that really fits in that group. I would almost say Nathan Davies would be another one that would fit over there, but Nathan Davies is in a different livery because he's there at bnqdiy.com on the side of his car.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. Hopefully Chris Knox gets a better start to his race number 1 than he did on the Miatas. So hopefully, you know, the interval that he has between the race and the qualifying and the race, he can put a little bit more fuel. And but yeah, Andrew, so far it's really good to see him on a new team. Really good to see him on new colors, and hopefully it's start of something big for him.
Now, Lee Holmes is listed on the ticker with a blue number box, but he is not your Pro-Am pole sitter. Daniel Martin currently is. We're watching Martin work on through the chicane, now into Butchers. He just went fastest last time around in Pro-Am. And nothing has changed out in amateur. A lot of your amateur drivers actually serving that quality, well, I say a lot of them, a few of them serving a quality band along with a lot of pros. James Holman, Shane Piggott, Stephen Daly, Michael Seal, Neil Ferrier even, and several Pro-Ams as well. So not many cars on track as qualifying comes down to a close. We'll get a little bit of time to finish up laps. And McEwen still on top of the board. Roger Morton just went faster though. He's up to 10th now inside the top 10.
Yeah, looks like he's improving. He still has time to maybe set one more lap after this one. So if he can find just a little bit more, no, not a little bit more time. I like the purple on that. Oh yeah, that's a new detail as well. Is it applied to all the cars or just his to, I guess, stand out a little bit more?
I didn't notice it on Manners. Well, not Manners. Hardy. Yeah, it's not on Hardy's car just yet, so I wonder if that'll be added in coming days and coming weeks. But I really like that detail there for Morton, and I'm a sucker for purple anyway. So Hardy, by the way, just went quicker.
Yeah, just went faster. Yeah, just.
So these two teammates going back and forth.
Yeah, hopefully they can ride together. Let's see if Roger can improve a little bit. He's currently sitting on a 151.5.
He does.
Yes, he does. Does he beat his teammate?
No, not quite.
Barely.
13 1,000ths of a second.
Yeah, really close. So, yeah, Andrew, it's just going to be interesting to see if the purple is going to be added to each and every single car, or that's going to be the, I guess, the different factor between the teammates to make the car a little bit more personal to him.
Yeah, I'd imagine they'll choose their own color, get their own name on the hood there, and boy, that's going to be really cool when they actually do that for the rest of the team. That is a really, really nice detail there, and it works really well with that yellow as well. Let's go ahead and get ready then for our first grid of the day. 30 cars, 11 of them not allowed to qualify. They will all start from the rear, but on pole, you'll find car 18. That is Andy McEwen, not in car 4 anymore. So we'll see how that works out for Andy. Starting second, you'll find Nathan Davies. Starting third, it's going to be Chris Knox with that new team. RD Simsport and Lee Holmes rolls off from the 4th position for 88 Tech. Starting 5th, it's your Pro-Am pole sitter Daniel Martin in car 567. Sam Smith rolls off in the 6th spot. Excuse me, starting 7th, you'll find Joe Winter. 8th is Mick Anderson. Starting 9th, though, is Martin Shirley. And 10th is Carl Hardy.
11th place goes the ways of Roger Morton. His teammate Ian Manners is going to sit in 12th place on the outside. 13th place is going to be Martin Johnston. All alongside him, Fiona Siddons in the amateur pole in 14th place. Scott Smith in 16th place will go the ways of Mark Oliver. Row number 9 is going to start on the inside line for Duncan Cope. Outside line for Andrew Littler in 18th place. And row number 10, Andrew Alan Tune in 19th place. And James Holman in 20th.
10 more cars, and they start off with Neil Ferrier on the inside of row 11. Then it's Stephen Daly outside. Starting 23rd, it's Michael Seal. 24th, Robin Walters. 25th, you'll find Scott Malcolm. 26th is James Neve. And the back four are Craig Schill, Shane Piggott, Adam Fox, and Alistair Hatcher in our 30-car grid. Alistair coming from all the way in the rear. That is going to be a challenge. Just waiting on a couple of cars to grade up. It looks like Andy McHugh, our pole sitter, might be there. Yes, he is. It's not showing him as graded up, but we're waiting on Martin Johnson and Robin Walters before we can get this show started. 4 races. Let's go ahead and check the weather for our first of them. 65 degrees in the air, exactly what we would expect. No wind, really, 2 miles an hour. Nothing to be concerned about. It's going to be a good day of racing.
Absolutely, it's going to be fantastic. And yeah, we're already going to get
lights
going.
On, green lights coming. That means we're waiting on race number 1 for the first time of the day. Green flag waiting, and Barney gets his arm waving. Already a bit of contact further back. And into turn 1, we have a new race leader. Chris Knox takes over, and Fiona Siddons has already turned around and crashed.
Even more. We have even more contact. Looks like just behind, a few cars taking to the grass on the inside of turn number 1, but looks like just ahead, the top 10 remains unchanged. But look at this. Unfortunately, Andrew, 2 cars already facing the wrong direction. And
Daniel Martin.
Even more. No.
Daniel Martin takes a header there into the barriers out of Clark. The rest of the field works on to the chicane. Joe Winter now in third.
Leading?
Come again?
Is that Chris Knox leading already?
Yes, that was Chris Knox.
Yeah.
Took the lead from turn 1. And out of turn 9 for the first time, Chris Knox going to lead us to, well, first lap complete. But we've got a lot of replays. We can't even go along with these guys. Let's go on back and find out what happened here at the start. Fiona Siddons with the biggest, I think, bit of trouble off the start of the race. We'll find car 927. And, yeah, a whole lot just went wrong.
Yeah, a whole lot went wrong for quite a few drivers. Obviously, I guess the one that suffered the most was Fiona Siddons, leading the amateur class, and straight out of turn 1, that lead was vanished. Not the greatest of starts for Fiona, but down in turn 1,
hit there.
Yeah, I wonder if we'll just be braking. Yes, yeah, under braking.
Kidding. That was Neil Ferrier, just absolutely crashed her. I'm sorry, he just absolutely drove through her in turn 1.
Yeah, he just took a little bit more road on the exit of the pit lane, but obviously, just ran out of the road and unfortunately right into Fiona. So I guess that's done and dusted, I think, for this True. It should be a slam dunk penalty for him, unfortunately. And yeah, you can see just runs out of road. There's just no room
and just drives through her.
Yeah.
You can argue she braked a little bit early, but that's her prerogative into turn 1 on the first lap. Let's go up and see what happened further on back. There was some crashing there. That led to, I think that might have been, that was Michael Seal crashed in the first corner. And then something happened further up to Daniel Martin. He's already gone off at this point. We'll get one more look at it then. This will be into Clark for the first time. Following closely behind Andy McEwen. And let's see, he just, it's like he just locks up.
Yeah, and just really weird situation to happen. Just locks up, and obviously at that point, I guess you keep pressing the brake pedal even harder to make sure you try to stop without making contact. And yeah, that's, well, him into the barrier.
We've had more trouble. This is also a replay. Lee Holmes and Sam Smith. This is a lot closer to live picture, but not quite live. Contact there with Smith. Lee Holmes to the apex of Clark. Contact again, and car 66, Mick Anderson collects Lee Holmes, and they have a bit of a spin. Oh my goodness, Roger Morton.
Oh, that's going to be really unfortunate. Roger might just have target locked Lee Holmes, unfortunately, and, well, just straight into him. That was nearly perfect between the 2 cars.
One more replay, then we'll come back to live picture. This is Roger Morton's view of it, and already missed the corner, just goes off. Oh, and he gets hit.
Oh, get bumped. No.
That was the 501 Ian Manners with no manners, apparently, shoving Roger Morton way off the racetrack. And Roger's race is just about done. So tons of chaos to start this one out. And, I told you earlier, Chris Knox, one of the more chaotic drivers of the series, he is leading. It fits.
Yeah, he's leading. The gap has come down. We just saw, a few drivers setting the fast lap of the race. This is, it looks like New Ferrier defending from Carl Hardy, if I'm not mistaken.
Just took that spot away.
Oh, just took that spot away. So down into turn 1, got the move done, but Carl looks like he wants that spot back. I don't think it will happen down in turn 3. Yes, it won't. So Neil currently has that position. But yeah, really interesting. Sam Smith, although is still leading the Pro-Am class, a really good 5th place for him.
Yeah, Sam leading that class, and I think he's close to being acceptable to move up to Pro, but I don't think he moved up to Pro this season. I think you wait until after this season, and he could be, I think, argued to be a Pro driver after this. Andrew Littler's just had some problems, lost a lot of spots. Checks in now, though, behind his teammate Fiona Siddons, and Fiona flashing Alistair Hatcher right here. Wants to get that spot away. This is for 21st on the racetrack, and this might be for 4th, it looks like, in class. Yes, this is for 4th in class. Fiona falls back a little bit, so that battle is really just not going to come to fruition. Further ahead, actually further back, Duncan Cope has a problem. He's in the pit lane already.
Yeah, so it looks like, another car. And oh, that's going to be the number 35. Is that Lee Holmes?
Yes, it is.
So Lee as well, back to the pit lane. So quite a few cars having troubles, Andrew, and this is James Holman, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, he's chasing down Colin Hardy. This is for the 8th spot, so you can see just how much Neil Ferrier pulled away from Hardy, and now it's going to be the chance of Holman, the championship leader so far, to try and get a good run. But looks like the Honda was gaining a little bit on the Audi, but now that Audi just coming back, and I'm pretty sure James Holman might have the position on their braking. They both brake pretty similarly, but Hardy unfortunately taking a really wide line, and well, no chance to fight back.
Easy pass there for James Holman, takes the spot away. Our eyes now move up to the top 3 with Knox leading over McEwen and Winter. 3 Hyundais, but one of them not quite like the other. That Veloster, I'm surprised it's not getting more use, to be honest. Being one of the newer cars, and honestly, I think it looks a little better than the Elantra.
That's going to be a little bit... I'm going to have to disagree personally. I feel like the Elantra looks a little bit better, but I like the style of it, but I just prefer the other Hyundai. But yeah, still a really good car. I'm sure it drives quite a bit differently, but look at this battle right here, Andrew. The Elantra versus the Civic. Stephen Daly chasing down Malcolm, and look at the exit that Daly got, and he might just have this even before the start-finish line.
Does have the spot across the line, but Malcolm isn't done just yet. They'll battle down to turn 1. Now Malcolm gives up that spot, and the Sim 3D 64 takes it on away. Adam Fox and Mark Oliver side by side of the corner as well. And that looks like a Veloster, potentially, for Adam Fox. Yes, it is.
Yeah, so Veloster overtaking a Civic down into turn number 1. So there you go. Adam Fox got that position, and looks like he's sitting in 19th place now. So a really good, well, so far. Oh, no, he's going to go wide, and he's going to lose it. Can he save the car, though?
And this is for your lead, as we've got a battle for the lead ahead as well with Chris Knox and Andy McEwen. So your amateur lead has a battle. Now your pro lead has a battle. And this is actually 3 cars on top of each other with Joe Winter just a front row seat to it all.
Yeah, this is amazing for John Winter. Obviously, he wants maybe a little bit of contact between
on the inside,
and that's exactly what he wants in 3rd place. And he's gonna he's gonna sit. Look at how close the top 3 is. So Chris Knox needs to answer quite quickly before McEwen has a chance to drive away. On the early stages of the race, well, Chris Knox is the fastest one, but as the race went on, McEwen was able to close in that gap and, well, overtake him. So now coming into the final corner, who's gonna have the better exit? We're on board with Joe Winter. He's just, well, taking a look, trying to see where the opportunity lies for him. It's not going to be down into turn number 1. Knox looks like he's not close enough. He's on the middle of the road, but yeah, not close enough yet, Andrew. But this is going to be very interesting with 7 minutes to go.
And Nathan Davies is closing, so this could be a 4-car race before we're done here. The top 4 all pros. Sam Smith, your first Pro-Am driver in the 5th spot. Neil Ferrier, then behind. You can see them all with a whole bunch of things out of turn 1. Winter very close there to the back end of Knox, but no contact. Let's check in on these battles for the back with Ferrier. There's one of the Velocers and Shirley, the Audi of Holman, and the Honda Civic here of Hardy with company from James Neve. This is for 9th and 10th and 2nd in Pro-Am class as well.
So this is also a really good battle to follow. You can see just coming down the chicane into the final section of the racetrack, that Hyundai is really closing in on the Civic, and he's pretty much pushing him. We might see a move down into turn number 1. You can see the Hyundai really taking a wider line, and that is going to really shoot him up, catapult him on the exit. So I expect to see a move down into turn number 1. Will we see it though? Neve's gonna look down the inside. Will he outbrake Hardy? Not quite. So not really that confident in their break as we have. Is this Adam Fox going wide?
It is Adam Fox back off the racetrack, and he's lost a lot of spots now, down to 4th in amateur, only ahead of Andrew Littler and Sir Alan Toon that are still left running. So he is down to 22nd on the racetrack. Had a good race going, was leading in class, and then just went off the racetrack and gave that lead up to now Mark Oliver, who is around turn number 1. There's a battle with Malcolm and Smith here. Scott Smith in car 502, putting some pressure on Malcolm, can't get that spot away.
Yeah, so far I cannot really get the position. Still trying though, because he's coming down the chicane. This is where I thought, Andrew, we might see a little bit of trouble. We might see a little bit of action here though. McEwen did not really get that close to the apex, but looks like on the exit he got a really good drive. The top 4 all in the same shot, which is always amazing to see. But it looks like the lead will remain unchanged. So Chris Knox really getting close, really getting on 2 wheels out there. So really good to see those cars. But yeah, looks like Winter really closes up on this middle section of the racetrack. But unfortunately, what it really matters and where the opportunity lies for the overtake, he cannot really get close. But so far, looks like he's pushing the number 88.
As I mentioned, Nathan Davies is in this line of cars now. If they get side by side ahead of him again, I think this is a prime opportunity for Davies to sneak away with a podium in race number 1. McEwen obviously looking the best of the bunch, I think, but Chris Knox is not going to be any slouch here. As long as he's got the fuel, unlike race 1 on Tuesday, he's going to challenge here all the way to the end. Joe Winter as well, going to keep things spicy.
Yeah, absolutely. This is going to keep all of them on their toes. You can see Winter really looking for any sort of opportunity to overtake. Down into turn number 3 though, it's really difficult, especially how much curb these guys are taking. Nathan Davies takes a little bit of the worst line so far. I can see Chris Knox flashing his headlights just ahead, so I'm not pretty sure if it's to warn the lap driver quite ahead or if it was to get in the head of McEwen.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I think it was to get in the head of the leader, trying to maybe set him off, but looks like that was not enough. Even maybe helped, because that gap is nearly half a second.
Oh, they all kind of run wide there on a turn 9, and that lapped car will come into the pit lane. That was Sir Alan Toon. As here we go, Winter takes a look to the inside, thinks better of it, but 3.5 minutes to go, and McEwen checks up in 1. They all kind of accordion effects, get a couple of Martinsville bumps, and they continue on. So your top 4 still in this line. Now, Knox and Davies have not won a race, but McEwen and Winter have each won a race apiece. That's certainly weighing on minds, as Mick Anderson has trouble here with, I think that's not Alan Toon, is it? No, but Craig Schill is now slow here. Big problems in turn 1.
Yeah, big problems. Looks like at least 2 or 3 cars affected, because I think a car towed back to the pit lane, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, down in turn 1, and the most action-packed corner of the racetrack, and that's, I think, where you should expect. Now we're going to take a look to see exactly what happened. They're quite distant.
Oh boy. Wow.
Oh, no. Yeah, they were quite distant. I was wondering how that happened, and well,
that was Alan Toon.
Yeah, Alan Toon, I think he just broke maybe on the grass, and that set his car.
I wonder, he had gone into the pit lane, so he was on pit exit. And this likely going to be a big problem. Let's see, Craig Schill comes in, so he gets onto the racetrack here. And yeah, he did break on the grass right in front of Hardy, it looks like.
Wow, really unlucky for Hardy. And then obviously he gets even more contact, and that, well, essentially kills his car, if I'm not mistaken, because he lost the wheel. Oh no, he didn't lose the wheel, but he got a lot of damage, so I'm pretty sure he'll be forced to come down in the pit lane.
A lot of issues there. We'll go back up to our leaders, though, as they're in lap traffic. This is a... Whoa, what is... Oh, no, Joe Winter! Hooked off of Fiona Siddon's car and into the tire barriers. Yep, that's deserving of a Pit Stop TV replay.
Absolutely. We just caught that on the moment. But what an unfortunate end. He was running in a really solid third, but after trying to overtake Fiona, well, looks like he's going to have a lot of damage.
He had dropped to 4th with this pass here. This is Michael, or not Michael, Nathan Davies.
Nathan Davies.
They had just made this pass while we were in that replay. And then if we skip ahead a little bit, we'll see where they meet these lap cars of Fiona Siddons and Adam Fox here. And it's going to be out of McIntyre, it looks like, where they start to catch those cars. You can see the leaders had gotten through, and it was difficult for them as well. McEwen and Knox fighting with them there. But then Nathan Davies catches them, and oh, I see. Fox is out wide. Fiona comes over. And I think, yeah, it just looks like Joe tried to follow and wasn't completely clear.
Yeah, I
got one more
completely
look.
agree. I think he just tried to clear it, but unfortunately, he, as I mentioned, wasn't clear. So I think that's might be his own doing.
We'll see here in a moment. So Fiona's on the left side. That prompts Fox to go wide. Davies follows through. Here comes Winter, and the onboard with Fiona Siddons. Yeah, Joe Winter did that to himself.
Yeah, unfortunately, just tried to thread the needle, and unfortunately, couldn't really do it. So unfortunately, that's a terrible end to his race, Andrew. I'm pretty sure he was still well in the fight for the lead. But,
absolutely.
Yeah,
he was battling there to follow through in fourth. And, well, he would still be in this battle if that hadn't happened. White flag is out, it looks like, presented by Whiplash Simcams. McEwen leading. Knox in second. Knox takes a look. He knows this is his best bet, and he gets down to the inside. Contact there, door to door, and McEwen is going to have to try something, I think, in Clark. And he's not far back. He can certainly do so. Contact on the straightaway now. They come around the railway bend. Knox now back on the defensive, on the offensive wall into the corner. McEwen has the lead. McEwen gives that up. This is not over.
Oh, look at Nathan Davies. He's going to have an opportunity. He got a really good run. Even on Chris Knox, he's going to go down the inside of the chicane. No, he won't. He's going to go side by side. No!
That's just, yeah, I said earlier, if you have side-by-side into the chicane, it will not work. Takes himself and McEwen out, and he's going to drop nearly out of this top 10, it looks like. Here comes more cars, and more cars have just gone off, trying to miss him. James Neve goes off.
Really on the gravel trap. Chris Knox is going to win, though, with an excellent move down into turn number 1. And McEwen is going to finish in second place. Smith is going to finish in third place. There we go. Neil Ferrier in fourth. And looks like, where is... Oh, Nathan Davies in seventh place. So really, Andrew, from possibly a second place all the way down to seventh.
Wow. I understand wanting to try. I mean, it is for the, the top 3, but I don't know if I ever would have tried that in the chicane.
I guess he was just taking the opportunity as it presented itself. He almost tried to go down the inside of Chris Knox, but yeah, that was an interesting finale. I loved it, to be honest.
A couple more cars across the line. Mark Oliver will be next up, and we'll finish this race. As here he comes, I believe. Yes, checkers for 969. That is the final car across the line. Let's go ahead and take a look then towards our spinning wheel for the first time today. JP, do you want to try and guess what it's going to be?
Well, for last round, well, on Tuesday it was full, the safe bet. Now I'm going to go for, let's see, 17.
17. I'll go with 10. It might actually come back around and be 10 or full.
Oh, you're going to be? There you go, Andrew. Go buy a lottery ticket.
Yeah, we need to go buy a lottery ticket immediately. Powerball numbers, apparently I might know them. And no, I will not spill. So it is an inverted 10. That's a very small... I think that's the first one we've gotten 10. That's rare. It's very, very rare. It's only going to go down to Shane Piggott, actually, in the 10th position. Let's go ahead and bring up our unofficial race results.
So unofficially, obviously, well, I think it's going to be an interesting post-race, I guess, coverage for the stewards. Chris Knox won the race, 1.3 second clear of Andrew McEwen, obviously due to the contact. Sam Smith on the last lap gets promoted to third place. Neil Ferrier is going to finish in fourth place after having a quali ban. And I was just informed Andrew that this is his home track as well. Martin Shirley is going to finish in fifth place. James Holman in sixth. Nathan Davies in seventh. James Neve is going to finish in eighth place ahead of Carl Hardy and Shane Piggott.
Finishing 11th, you will find car number 64 of Stephen Daly, just missing out on that invert, and the gap to them at the line was actually a second apart, so Davey a second away from getting pole for this next race. Ian Manners, 12th place, misses out on the invert as well as Mick Anderson, Scott Smith, Craig Schill in 15th spot, Robin Walters in 16th, and Scott Malcolm. Then Alistair Hatcher and Mark Oliver round out your lead lap cars, just ahead of Adam Fox in 20th.
21st place goes the way of Fiona Siddons, Joe Winter in 22nd, Andrew Lidler in 23rd, Alan Toon 24th, Duncan Cope 25th, ahead of Lee Holmes, Roger Morton, Martin Johnson, Daniel Martin, and Michael Seal in 30th place.
30 cars, and Michael Seal, the worst of them today, with that big contact in turn 1. Not of his own doing from what I recall, but yeah, he's going to want to turn that one around. And it's always tough when you get stuck down deep in the field to start the day, to start to come back from that. It's very, very tough. You get these big starts, and We'll see how it goes for Michael Seal. Best of luck to him. Certainly throughout the day, he's going to need some luck, I think, to get through those midfield battles. That is race 1, though. Done and out of the way. JP, how do you feel about that one?
It was very exciting. Obviously, we're going to have quite a bit of controversy with some overtakes and some contacts, but it was fun. I guess it sets a good benchmark for overtaking and I guess for action overall. So cannot wait to see what the next ones are going to provide. Obviously, only 10 inverts, but it still should be pretty interesting.
Yeah, I think that's an understatement there. It'll be more than interesting here for race number 2 with a very small invert. That means a lot of those pro guys, the guys that were just fast in race 1, they're going to stay up front and just get mixed around a little bit. I kind of like that for a change. We'll see how that goes here in race number 2. Race 2 then on the way, followed by race 3 and 4 here on Pit Stop TV. This is BSRTC round 3 of the 2022 spring season, and we'll be right back to you. Welcome back to the virtual Knockhill Racing Circuit, and JP, the B-roll and the sim, they don't quite match up, but I tell you what, this is the best that Knockhill has ever looked in BSR competition. It's still a new racetrack. We covered the first rounds here, and this is the best it's looked. We don't have that Scottish fog. We don't have all the clouds overhead. There are some clouds, but you can see the sun is adorning that mountain in the background in some light, and, well, it's going to continue on down. Is that Knockhill? I wonder. I actually don't know. Is that mountain in the background Knockhill? I mean, that would be, you know, logical to think about, right? But I think it's called some kind of mountain. I'd have to look back up again. I looked it up before round whatever it was last season, and I've already forgotten. But anyways, race number 2 on the way here, JP. Race 1, filled with some spills, definitely some tempers as well, starting to come out in the Discord chat, and it's going to continue throughout the day.
Oh, absolutely. I guess the nature of the circuit invites a little bit of, you know, that arging and barging, I guess you can say, you know, invites.
Oh, yeah.
It just invites a little bit. It's so tight, you know, to make a move. You really, I mean, I guess the only spot you can really make a move without any contact is down into turn 1. But if you get a good enough run out of turn number 1, you know, if you get a great run out of turn 3, like we just saw from Nathan Davies on McEwen, you know, things are going to get spicy. Unfortunately, there's going to be contact, and yeah, we just had that for race number 1, Andrew, and I think we should expect for the remaining 3 races.
Definitely. We're going to see a lot more carnage, and I really do think Taylor's is a lot more treacherous in these touring cars than I would have ever expected. I know, you know, we've seen our fair share of contact through there. We saw our fair share of spills with the Miatas on Tuesday, but it just seems like these touring cars are having even more trouble there, and really coming over that chicane. It's such a rhythm section coming over 4, 5, 6, and into 7. If you mess it up just a little bit, or if you try to go side by side, as Nathan Davies found out, it's usually a bad idea.
Yeah, absolutely. At that point of the racetrack, it's essentially a one-line section, and I guess we can go too wide, especially on the first few laps when everybody's going a little bit slowly. People are taking a little bit more time, but on the final few laps, Andrew, if you're just going for it, trying to get a position, maybe trying even to get a win, yeah, it's a bit too tight for 2 cars.
So as we get ready for race number 2, warm-up is concluding. You can see the time running out there. James Neve fastest in this quick session, but of course, a small invert. Only 10 cars for this race. That's the smallest I think we've ever had. We might have had 9 once before, but I don't recall 10 before, so this is going to be rather interesting. And it's an even number. We have a lot of odd numbers, but this even number is going to change things up just a little bit, and especially with only setting Chris Knox back to 10th, I would expect him to be very much within the battles up front, and oh, hang on. I don't see Chris Knox in the order for whatever reason, but Andy McEwen is there, so Chris Knox may be missing this second race of the day. I do not see him in the lineup right now, but Shane Pickett will start from pole, Carl Hardy second, James Neve third, Nathan Davies fourth, James Holman fifth, Martin Shirley in sixth, Neil Ferrier 7th, Sam Smith 8th, and Andy McEwen will start from the 9th spot. In fact, this is the look at things from McEwen's perspective as these guys get ready to go for race number 2. Definitely going to be a little bit different, but if you look at what's going on behind him, well, that's not a great look at things. If you look at what's going on behind him, it's even worse. There's a lot of cars stacked up, and these guys that were just battling, in fact, in that previous race, they're going to be all over each other, I think. Look at that line of cars.
That's amazing to see. And with the red lights, well, they're going to get very close once again.
Waiting on green lights for race number 2. You can see the start from high above the Knockhill Racing Circuit. Green lights are out, and we're racing in race 2. Already some 3 wide as they head down the hill to turn 1. James Holman going to take, it looks like, I can't tell, is that 3rd spot or is that 2nd? Already got a car in the pit lane. Knox has started from the pit lane and already crashed. Mick Anderson and some others.
Yeah, we have quite a few cars exiting the pit lanes. You can see you have a small car park on the exit of turn number 1. Oh, almost a lot more contact, but looks like people are still avoiding action through the grass. You can see a few cars out there. Down into turn number 3, we have a few cars also going into the grass, but looks like through the chicane, at least this first group, Andrew, everybody made it through safely.
Carl Hardy leading over James Holman, Neil Ferrier, and Sam Smith. And we'll work up Duffus for the first time today. Teammates in a line. That's McEwen following Neve. As we come to a close for lap number 1, McEwen making a big move to the inside.
Yeah, already down into number 1, not wasting a lot of time, and he's gonna have that position, looks like. Yes, he will. Up ahead, looks like a lot of positions are switching. Carl Hardy down to 3rd place. And yeah, top 2 for pro drivers. You can see Carl Hardy, but look at behind him, Andrew. Davies and Shirley going for it. The top 5 extremely close, and this is exactly what we want to see. Shirley, is that Shirley not wasting any time? No, that's Davies.
Yeah,
oh, that's
Nathan Davies,
Smith.
a big move to the inside of Sam Smith. And up ahead, James Holman now with company from Neil Ferrier. You can see just a line of cars headed over the chicane. This is a great view at the top 2, though. Ferrier a little bit loose into braking for McIntyre. And Holman, suddenly one of the best drivers in this race. He's going to pull away, it looks like, up over the front stretch. And opening out that lead. Let's go ahead and go back then to lap number 1 and see if we can find out what happened with those guys further back. There were some big issues.
We're just gonna see exactly what happened, and once again, Andrew, lap 1, turn 1 instance. As you can see on your screen, Holman sets the fast lap of the race. You can see the launch of the Audi is just out of this world. That DSG gearbox working wonders, and you can see this is where drivers will get quite close to one another. So
I know Mick Anderson was in this in the race anywhere 66, but it starts ahead, I think. As no, was that Craig Schill to the inside? Craig turns him around, and it's just a car park from there. Everybody piles in. Roger Morton gets a piece. Duncan Cope and others Fiona Siddons way out in the dirt. And I think that was Stephen Daly out there as well. Now, Mick Anderson got off without too much issue. He actually got back going, but definitely got turned around, and a big set of calamity there to start this race. We'll go back to live picture here as Neil Ferrier continues to work on James Holman. They've opened out a gap of 1.8 seconds over Nathan Davies, and there we go. Pass for the lead. Ferrier down to the inside of turn 1, and he has got that inside line, but Holman with the whole shot out of the... No, he's going to fall back in behind. I think he lifted there to just go ahead and sort this out. Don't want to go too wide here in Clark.
Yeah, I think it's too early to go too wide. You can see Neil Ferrier already building a small gap, 0.3 of a second. And just as I mentioned, he's the hometown boy. He's definitely going to be wanting to excel around here in Knockhill. He's doing exactly what he needs to do. And behind here, you can see 2 teammates getting really close on the exit of the chicane, almost making contact. But yeah, Andrew, once again, we're seeing teammates running together. And oh, we have even more action. Is that out of turn 3?
It is. Daniel Martin, Craig Schill, and some others with some trouble. Even Mark Oliver, it looks like. Michael Steele, by the way, is in this picture as well. He is up to 21st in this race from 30th spot. That's actually a pretty good recovery, but he's got more to make up. And Ferrier and Holman swap spots again. Holman, I think, had a move for a moment. Now Nathan Davies has made up 1.7 seconds and is right back with these guys. I never would have expected that quickly.
That's just how much time you lose battling, especially on a short track like this. Nathan Davies doing, well, he's pretty much thanking these two for going side by side and allowing him the chance to battle for the lead once again. Now up into 3rd place, Andrew. He has plenty of time to line up a move on the number 4. Obviously, the safest place down into turn number 1, and we're just going to have to see if he gets close. You can see just on this final part of the racetrack, he gets extremely close to Holman. Up behind, well, teammates still going at it. Looks like, was that Neve just holding them off? Looks like, but the top 3 really close. I wonder if we're going to see a move down in turn number 1.
Holman takes a look to the inside, and he is going to stick his nose there right down to the apex, curbing. And he's got the inside line, but Ferrier is going to have the advantage with that Hyundai on the outside. The Audis are great at a launch, but it seems like they're not great at corner exit. The Hyundais still have the advantage there over the Audis, and certainly from the outside line there in Taylor's a big advantage there to Ferrier. Gets the power down and gets away, but now Nathan Davies sucked into the dirt, sucked into the grass. He loses some time there to Holman. You were talking about those guys behind. Here's James Neve on Martin Shirley. Can't quite get there, and he goes through the grass. It's going to open the door for his teammate, Andy McEwen, but he shuts it promptly as McEwen has to wait on by. Now he takes the apex there, McIntyre, and he's going to take that spot away. The Time for Fun Motorsport drivers doing some battle there, and here comes Scott Smith as well.
Neve definitely made that a little bit easy for McEwen, and unfortunately that might bite him back because Smith is right up his rear end and might look down into turn number 1, looking to the inside. I think he's too far away to think about a move. Yes, he is. And, well, Neve just closed that door, but I don't think, Andrew, that was too hard for McEwen. I'm pretty sure after he lost quite a bit of time on the chicane, just probably had a talk with him, and, well, up ahead still remains unchanged.
Yeah, back up front here is Mick Anderson has troubles again, and it looks like this might be terminal. But back up to our leaders, Ferrier still up front over Holman, Davies 3rd, and Sam Smith looking like he might take another Pro-Am victory today, but this time he's in this battle up front, and he's looking good.
And It's looking really good for Smith. He's looking really positive today, isn't he, Andrew? That was a third place last race after the contact as Adam Fox has even more trouble on race number 2. Can he get back on race pace? Be careful to rejoin. He is. But yeah, the race not going his way.
McEwen's just gone purple. Let's go back and find the issue here for Adam Fox. Several issues down in the midfield, including Mick Anderson a lap or so ago. And this is what happens to car 960, was it 960? No, 910 here in BSRTC. Looks fine there. And it happens between Butchers and McIntyre. Oh, there it is. Just over the chicane, got the rear onto that anti-cut and just gets out of all kinds of out of whack. What I do want to go back and find is the issue here for Mick Anderson a couple of laps ago. See if we can, or if this is already... Oh, wow, that's in progress.
Oh.
So it looks like contact maybe with a car. And yes, it is going to involve some contact here with, I believe that's going to be the 505? Yes, Martin Johnson. So Mick Anderson following Martin Johnson and Alistair Hatcher, it looks like. We're watching this black 66 here at the rear of this little pack. They head up over the hill at Duffus, and you can see Martin Johnson goes way out wide, and oh, Mick Anderson goes off the racetrack to get on by him here, and then there's some contact at some point. Oh, Johnson just comes over and hits him. I don't think it was intentional, but he hit him.
No, yeah, absolutely. I don't think it was intentional. That was really close to the pit entry as well. But yeah, unfortunately for them, unfortunately for him at least, a bit of contact, as you mentioned, not intentional, looks like just a little bit of a mistake, but that's really going to cause a dent on his race as Neil Ferrier. Well, these two are still going at it, Andrew, and they're bringing the whole pack with them. Not only the top 4, you can see now the cutback from Holman. He's going to have a good run, and he's going to have the inside line, most importantly, up down into turn number 3. No, he's not. Neil Ferrier manages to close that door, so I don't think, yeah, it looks like Holman won't go for it just now. Still 6 minutes and 40 to go. Plenty of racing.
McEwen was all over Shirley that time down the front stretch, but Shirley blocked. Now Shirley blocks again down the chicane. This blocking is starting to get a little out of hand, I think. You get that one defensive move to pick your line. It's when you start chasing that car behind in the mirror that it becomes a problem, and Shirley's got to be very, very careful of that. So far, that was already an illegal block into the chicane per most motorsports, but things usually get allowed here in BSRTC. It's a whole lot of fun when that's allowed. You just got to be careful in case McEwen actually sticks a nose at the inside.
Yeah, absolutely. You can see here, probably the move's going to happen. Oh, goes defensive. We're not seeing too much of that. Even on Tuesday, you can see this is going to force to the outside line. It's not really the preferred line, Andrew, but on the exit, normally you can get a good enough run, but that's not going to be the case. McEwen really losing quite a bit of time, so he's probably going to have to get an excellent run out of the final corner if he wants to get past the number 5 of Shirley, but so far, this is also a fantastic battle to follow.
Daly and Hardy doing battle further back. They're side by side going down to Clark. Daly in the gray and orange car comes over just in front of Hardy, and that pushes Carl Hardy in the dirt. Oh, what a drift and a save there as Joe Winter goes on through as well, but Carl Hardy loses a couple of spots, is down now to 14th overall. That is 6th in Pro-Am competition. Martin Johnson next up behind him. Michael Steele, I talked about him trying to come back through the field. He's in a pretty decent spot if he wants to play this invert. He's in 16th, JP, so that should invert him towards the front of the field after this race, but obviously things can go differently as Holman and Davies battle now in turn 1. Davies on the offensive. It seems like the Elantra is excelling today, certainly over that Audi.
Yeah, absolutely. The Audi has obviously the advantage on the launch, and you can see they're going a little bit door to door. Holman as well, really riding that curb. That's going to push Nathan Davies into the gravel trap, and well, that he's going to lose one position to Sam Smith. I'm not quite sure if he's going to be really happy with that, but you know, that's going to be, I guess that's short track racing on road racing, Andrew. So there you go. But yeah, McEwen still looks like he's still stuck behind Shirley, but he's extremely close on the final corner. Can he get a good enough exit? We're just gonna have to wait and see. But this battle right here, now Davies from attacking Holman, he's gonna have to attack Smith, and McEwen, he's not too close for a dive, and you can see Shirley just goes defensive. He's gonna hold back, and this could be his opportunity to get a cutback.
A good run here from McEwen. He's alongside now, and Shirley is really trying to pinch him over into the grass, is not able to do so, and McEwen is certainly there this time. I think McEwen's going to have the advantage to Clark. He does finally take that spot away from Martin Shirley. That is good for 5th now, 4th in pro competition, as Shirley drops back to just ahead of James Neve, McEwen's teammate. And I'm sure Neve will be a little, maybe more forgiving? I can't tell. But yeah, McEwen finally gets his nose in there, takes the spot away. Neil Ferrier, by the way, is starting to open up a gap. He's got just under a second, about 3/4 of a second back to Holman. They're starting to drive away there. As Michael Seal goes to work on Daniel Martin. Seal actually just lost a spot down to 17th place, so must have had an off somewhere. And your amateur leader, by the way, is Alistair Hatcher back here in 19th position, it looks like.
Yeah, 19th position. Alistair is leading. Yeah, he's leading the amateur class so far. Currently with less than 2-second gap to Adam Fox. So not the healthiest of gap, Andrew, but with 3 minutes to go, that's good enough if the 964 can, well, keep it on the racetrack, keep hitting its marks, and, well, he's going to be good. I saw just a little bit of puff of smoke on the exit of turn number 1. I wonder if there was a bit of contact between the drivers just ahead, but looks like they're still very close to one another. But Alistair doing a fantastic job. This is Martin Johnston. Looks like he's battling with Michael Seal.
Well, that is Chris Knox.
Oh, that's Chris Knox? Oh, yeah.
Chris Knox in the offensive here, Martin Johnson. And Knox battling back from starting the pit lane after he would have started 10th in this race. So he is now in 18th spot, working on 17th as Steele is up into 16th now, chasing Daniel Martin, one of Knox's new teammates. Further up the road, Ian Manners and Lee Holmes are battling there at a turn 1 as, Stephen Daly goes out wide. This will be a good little battle now down the railway bend. Side by side, maybe not. Holmes can't quite get there as Shirley and Neve are side by side. Neve almost had that spot away. Shirley takes it back for the chicane, and Scott Smith will follow.
And this is gonna this is gonna allow Smith to really close down this gap. And with 2 minutes to go, that's exactly what he wants, an opportunity to be really close to these guys and, well, tackle them. As you can see, the uphill apex to the final corner. Look at the exit that Neve got into for Shirley, and I think Shirley is going to go defensive once again. Yes, he goes a little bit defensive on the middle of the road, and Neve might just follow the footsteps of his teammate, trying to get a good enough exit. He does, and he's going to have the inside line to turn number 3, but look at the lap car. That might prove dividend.
That lap car going to single file these guys back out. I think that was Littler going a lap down. It might have been Duncan Cope, I'm not entirely sure. As here we go, Neve goes to the left side, a block again. Oh, Shirley's got to be careful of that.
Yeah, Shirley's going to have to be careful. Oh, that was a big jump, almost into the grass. Neve was, but he's still going to hold that position. That line could lose him a few tenths, and yes, he does. Up for the lead, Andrew, 1 minute 10. That's going to be 2 laps to go. Ferrier has to go defensive from Holman.
It is 2 laps to go. Check the flag stand just to be sure. Ferrier on the inside. And he's going to take that, hang on to the lead. That's what I was trying to go for there as McEwen trails them. Shirley keeps that spot over Neve as Fiona Siddons takes it off there through the grass. Now, if you're Scott Smith, how do you approach the situation, JP? You're 3rd in class, chasing Neve for 2nd. And Shirley keeps backing him up. Now a lap car here with Fiona Siddons on the outside. How do you try and approach this?
This is really interesting. Obviously, you could just go for it, but he's currently sitting, obviously, as you mentioned, 3rd place in class. This is a really good position for him. I guess his best chance is if Neve and Shirley make a little bit of contact. Just like this one, though, Neve really got a bad exit out of the chicane. This is really going to approach him, and, well, the opportunity he wanted might be down into turn number 1 as Ferrier opens the final lap of the race, defending down into turn number 1. Holman's going to have a good line, but Nathan Davies doesn't allow him to have the best line. Pushes him off, and, well, that's going to be Nathan Davies up into 2nd place. You can see a bit of a headlight flashing from the Audi. I don't think he's too happy about that.
And Sam Smith might have just blinked out. Your Pro-Am leader is now gone off the racetrack. He has dropped connection, it looks like. We'll see if he returns here on this final lap. Holman and McEwen, they will battle for 3rd and 4th, as Davies going to have one final opportunity here at Neil Ferrier, and I don't think he's going to get there. Neil Ferrier might grab his first win of week number 3. And up the hill, yes, it's going to be all car 91 unless something big changes here to the line. Nathan Davies, a great opportunity, a great fight, but no win for car 55. It's all near Neil Ferrier across the line. McEwen comes through for 3rd, and Holman drops way back. Yes, Holman's going to take 4th.
Yeah, Holman's going to take 4th. So.
And Neve takes the Pro-Am win.
Yeah, luckily for him. So Sam Smith, well, unfortunately by not attacking too much, he's going to sit down in 2nd place. Still going to be 2nd over.
He dropped out.
No, Scott Smith. Sorry,
Yeah, Sam Smith has dropped out.
Yeah, so Scott Smith's gonna finish in second place. Well, just gaining that position from the other Smith. But yeah, really odd circumstances on the final lap of the race. Really unfortunate for Sam Smith.
We'll get a replay of the McEwen and Holman battle for third, as that came to a head in the final couple of corners. A few more cars to wrap this race up, though. Roger Morton will be next and final across the line. There he goes with the purple accents on his result clothing at number 592. Let's go back and see the issue here for Holman. Where does he lose this position? Oh, he's going to have a problem in the chicane, it looks like. So let's go back here. This is back into turn 1, and you'll see where Davies gets the inside and pushes him off the course. So Holman goes from second here to fourth in one lap, almost fifth. As off the course there. Sam Smith goes by, and then almost immediately blinks out of the race, drops connection right there. I wonder if he got disqualified potentially. I doubt he would have. That's usually just a penalty, not a disqualification, but it's certainly a possibility. As Holman is going to have a problem through the chicane. Just watch this. McEwen's pressuring, and Holman just hits the curves the wrong way, goes for a spin, loses that spot. McEwen even went off course a little bit, trying to stay, keep control. And big problems there for Holman.
Yeah, you can see really small margins of errors on the chicane. This is going to be the final battle. Well, this was the battle angel for actually the Pro-Am lead on the final lap of the race. But yeah, and Neve won just ahead of Smith. So yeah, and then I guess
this is your amateur leader. He's got Craig Schill, his teammate, just behind. Adam Fox was next up for the amateur win, and Fox wasn't able to do anything on this last lap. You see Fox just kind of bobbling there through Butchers, not able to get up to Alistair Hatcher. So Alistair Hatcher, I believe, takes his first class win in BSRTC competition. A big win there for Alistair, as he will take the 18th place overall. Michael Seal, that I talked about, he goes 14th. Chris Knox 18th. Let's go ahead and bring up then your your not fidget spinner. I couldn't think of anything else. Not fidget spinner. Help me out here, JP. Why am I having trouble?
The Wheel of Fortune, or Misfortune.
The spinning wheel. That's what I was looking for. Thank you.
There we go.
my brain just could not make that connection. So it was 10 for race 1. Well, race 2, really, the first invert of the day. And now it looks like 20 potentially.
Doubling.
If momentum carries, and yes, from 10 up to 20. That's going to go clear back to Adam Fox. So Adam Fox and Alistair Hatcher about to have one heck of a battle, I think, for this amateur win in race 3.
Yeah, the battle's going to continue, actually, through race number 3. So Fox is going to have another opportunity to not only win the class, but could also win overall if he keeps up, the drivers behind him. Taking a look at the unofficial race results, Neil Ferrier won the race just 0.2 of a second ahead of Nathan Davies. Andrew McEwen is going to finish in third. The number 4 of James Holman is going to finish in 4th place. The number 5 of Martin Shirley is going to finish in 5th place. And then James Neve is going to win the Pro-Am class ahead of Scott Smith. Robin Walters in 8th place. Stephen Daly in 9th. And Lee Holmes in 10th place.
Finishing 11th, and now starting from 10th for race number 3 is Joe Winter in car number 11. Ian Manners goes 12th and will now start from 9th. Then it's Carl Hardy. Michael Seal will now start from the top 10. Daniel Martin there finishes 15th. And Chris Knox will have an opportunity to start from 5th in race 3. Oh boy, he's got to be almost a lock then for the race 3 win. Martin Johnson will start from the 4th spot now in race 3. Alistair Hatcher then will get a third place starting position after winning here in amateur class in race number 2. Craig Schill there in 19th and Adam Fox in 20th. Those guys are now your front row for the upcoming race.
Just missing out on the invert, that's Mark Oliver finishing 21st place. Roger Moore is going to finish in 22nd. The last driver to finish on the lead lap, Sam Smith, dropping off on the final lap of the race, going to end up finishing 23rd. Duncan Copeland 24th, Fiona Simmons 25th, Andrew Littler in 26th, Mick Anderson 27th, Alan Toon 28th. 29th is going to go the way of Scott Malcolm, and 30th place, Shane Piggott.
Big troubles for guys like Roger Morton, Sam Smith, even Duncan Copeland, Fiona Siddons back here. Of course, Mick Anderson and Shane Piggott. Shane Piggott has had a terrible season so far, an abysmal season. In fact, in the standings, Shane Piggott is actually, let's go ahead and refresh this, just to have my stat correct. I believe he's third lowest. Yes, third lowest of all the drivers who have made a start this season. He is in 34th in the standings, just a season after winning a Pro-Am championship in car 527. So just an absolutely abysmal season for him to forget here soon. Piggott is having a terrible, terrible time in spring 2022. Race 2 is wrapped up, and you know what? Actually, we do have some drivers to go ahead and talk to here, JP. First up, the guy who just won, it's Neil Ferrier.
So Neil, how does it feel to win on your home race?
Oh, it was good. Yeah, I was. Like, to be honest with you, I was quite happy just to sit behind James and take the finish. To be honest with you, because unfortunately I'm missing next week with being away. So I was like, let's end the week on a high. Let's finish all 4 races, and then I got past James there, and then never quite had the pace. But yeah, James was good enough not to make a stupid move a couple of times. He could have, but he never. So, but fair play to James for that.
And now starting race number 3 in 20th place, what could we expect from you?
I've not got a comment on this one. Yeah, every time I get the reverse grid, I seem to have, for race 3, if I win race 2, I usually go to the back, and it's like a bit, it's usually race 3 that ruins my night, to be honest with you. But I've just got to see how it goes. Turn 1, obviously, the hairpin is a bit, getting used to where people brake at the start and stuff's quite hard. So, fair play to the guys. They're keeping it relatively clean at the front. Yeah, we'll just see how it goes. Just get my way through and see where I end up in this race, to be honest with you. I'm not really that fussed where I finish, as long as it's somewhere near the front.
Well, absolutely. With that being said, I'm going to leave a few questions for the post-race interview with you, if you so do wish. But with that being said, Neil, I'm going to, leave you to focus on race number 3, and hopefully we can talk to you after that.
Yeah, that's fine. No worries. Just ask away, mate, and quite happy to answer for you.
Oh, absolutely. So, Andrew, that was Neil Ferrier. Winner of race number 2. Sounds confident for race number 3. I guess you can say that, but it sounds like he's having a lot of fun as well.
Yeah, I think Neil having a good day. Gets he had that contact in race 1 that I still, that's fresh in my mind with Fiona sit-ins, but turns around, grabs a win here, which is going to be a big turnaround for the day, certainly. Puts a bunch of points to his name and is going to help him, obviously, in the championship standings. But somebody else who is getting some points to his name is Alistair Hatcher with a big amateur win. And Alistair, I could be wrong, but I think this is your first of your BSR, be it MX5 or TC career. Is that correct?
I think, did I win race 1 in amateur? I'm not sure.
You know what? There might have been 1 or 2 previously, but regardless, it's still one of your first, and it's going to start to put together a pretty big season here with a few big players like your own teammate Craig Schill no longer in this amateur category. It's going to change up the battles. How have you found that so far?
Yeah, it's been quite tough. Like you say, it's I've only had the kit, and you obviously saw I did the tail end of last season. That was with controller, so I've only had a steering wheel at the start of this season, and I just downloaded iRacing the tail end of last season. But yeah, it's been good. I've been enjoying it. It's definitely tough. That second win was all on Craig Schill. I'm here because my teammates have bullied me to come in here to give him the big thanks for getting me that win, because I couldn't keep it on the track the last 4 laps or so, but he just kept Adam Fox off me, which was awesome.
Well, yeah, and that's what teammates are for as well. And obviously we've got 3 different classes of driver on track, but how big of a deal is it to have some teammates out there? Of course, Lee Holmes is out there with 88 Tech, and of course Craig Schill and a few others. I think Mark Oliver, right? Yeah, you've got a few out there that can help you out.
Yeah, it's been really good. We try and help each other out as much as possible. Like, try and let the other guys. Like, I would have let Craig through, obviously being a pro-am, but he was more than happy to, because it wasn't going to get much further up the grid. More than happy to try and help me out. So, yeah, massive thanks for that.
And you're starting quite a ways towards the front here for race number 3, starting from 3rd now, right behind the guy that you were just racing, Adam Fox. How do you expect the start of this race to go?
I don't know. Hopefully well. Hopefully I can keep out of trouble. It's quite nerve-wracking starting from the front with obviously all the pro drivers and people that are quicker behind you. So yeah, I'll just try and keep it clean and stay as high at the front as I can for as long as possible.
Well, Alistair, thanks so much for your time, and good luck here, race number 3. Going to have a pretty good battle, I'd imagine, with Adam Fox, and best of luck to turn 1. That seems to be where things happen.
Yeah, thanks very much. Cheers to the stream, guys. Much appreciated.
It's our first time talking with Alistair. Good to speak with him today, and certainly fresh off that race win, a good opportunity to hear exactly how his day has been going so far. Yeah, turn one is always just a melee here with these guys, especially in BSRTC. It doesn't really matter the course they go to. Even Silverstone was pretty crazy, but especially here at Knockhill, that hairpin, it tends to be pretty wild, JP. You know what? He said there's a lot of pressure, and it's not exactly fun to start from the front because it can definitely psych you out a little bit. If you go back to this past Sunday when we had MPI Cup Series coverage from Richmond with a full 40-car field for 400 laps, we went over and over with Derek Watson and Emerson Arden about how much we didn't like starting up front on the restarts and how I personally would rather start from 43rd sometimes. So I definitely understand Alistair's feeling there. It's so much pressure on you to start up front in these races, and if you make one little mistake, suddenly it's in front of everybody, and likely a few cars are going to pile in. So I definitely understand that sentiment there. Race 3 on the way here, JP, and well, we're going to get going in just a few moments, but before that, a quick step aside, and we'll be right back to you for the third race in round number 3.
After months of quarantine, we're all interested in how we can become our best self. The team at Permanent Makeup and Cryo is here to help you get the flawless makeup look every day without the extra effort or time. When it comes to your appearance, you deserve the best care that money can buy.
Sound Art introduces an entirely new way to listen to music in your home. By combining the best of two products, a revolutionary high-fidelity, low-profile Bluetooth wireless speaker with beautiful artwork. Select from a library of artwork or upload your own photos to personalize your experience. Sound Art ushers in an era of invisible, beautiful, and amazing sound throughout your home and redefines your entire entertainment system. The need to reclaim your floor space and rid your home of unsightly speaker boxes that need to be bolted to the wall is now a thing of the past. Our canvas is printed on high-quality permalite by Breathing Color. And select from our gallery or upload your own. Standard sizes include 16 by 20 and 18 by 24 canvas wrapped. Custom sizing is available, as well as surround sound options.
Welcome back to the virtual Knockhill races. I almost forgot the name of the course there for a moment, JP, but as we get ready for race number 3, it's going to happen here very, very quickly. We are already onto the grid, just waiting on a couple of drivers to go ahead and pop into the sim. And there, well, hang on. There you can see cars getting ready for race number 3. The weather in this one, as you can see, the sun getting low in the sky. The weather right as it has been, 65 degrees in the air, 66 on the racetrack. nothing too crazy. Nothing has changed all that much as we get ready for our third race of the day. Adam Fox will start from pole. Mark Oliver second. Alistair Hatcher third. Scott Malcolm fourth. Robin Walters fifth. Craig Schill sixth. Scott Smith 7th, Mick Anderson will start from 8th, Ian Manders 9th, and Stephen Daly will roll off from the 10th position. And if you're Michael Seal, you have just been dropped all the way to the rear of the field, starting from 30th position. This is how it looks. I would not want to be him currently.
No, I wouldn't either. Luckily for him, he has the virtual red lights, which are about to go off.
Waiting on the start of the race up front, Adam Fox on pole as we get ready for race number 3. It'll be a land rush down to turn 1 as per usual. Green flag is out in race 3. Varying levels of starts get down to turn 1 and some contact further back. Duncan Cope with some problems and a car park once more.
Oh, car facing the wrong direction even before the apex of turn number 1, but you can see the top 3 looks like it's all Honda Civics, and looks like they're all going to be single file through. Oh, as we have a Honda
Ian
Civic
Manners
drifting. Oh, wait, we have more contact.
I think that was Chris Knox in the wall. Yes, it is. Chris Knox in car 88 with a big issue here. It looks like Ian Manders gets going okay. Mark Oliver is now your leader with Scott Smith to the inside of Alistair Hatcher. Is now going to go side by side with Adam Fox and Stephen Daly to the rear end of the 964. It is a mad rush back up the start, finish straight and contact there. Oh, Stephen Daly and Alistair Hatcher have just crashed across the start-finish line. Well, coming to the start-finish line. Wow.
Somehow that Honda Civic still looks in pristine condition. I don't know how that...
I don't know about that, but it's not as bad as it could be, for sure.
Yeah, definitely not. But, yeah, we're going to take a look at the replay to see exactly what happened around here. You can see a bunch of smoke, and you can see we're almost going to go 4 wide of one stage. Yeah, 4 wide. We can see a bit of smoke, right? But that's going to be from the launch. And this blue Audi, I'm pretty sure, is going to be the car that was turned around. Oh, Fiona Citizen, unfortunately, well, just misjudging the braking zone.
And then things happen to Chris Knox a little further up the road. He is ahead of a 3-wide situation with Joe Winters. And this is headed down Railway Bend to Clark pretty quickly. What happens here to Knox? He gets in deep to the inside of Craig Schill and just right through the grass. That is all on Chris there, for sure.
Yeah, and unfortunately for him, he's going to pay the ultimate price, I think, and he's not going to be able to finish this race. Yeah, you can see the car is destroyed, so... Yeah, unfortunately for Chris, as you can see up here, we had even more battles. Oh, that was a bit of contact.
This is that incident with Alistair Hatcher and Stephen Daly, and let's watch this back up over the hill. And yeah, Daly just comes out wide and hits him.
Yeah, unfortunately, look at that contact. And, well, yeah, I guess Alistair Hatcher, I don't think the damage was terminal. I don't think he's back to the pit lane, is he?
No, he continued on, and look at this. A new race leader in the form of Scott Smith. For the first time this season, car 502 out front, and he's even got Knockhill Racing Circuit on the side of his car, so I dare say he's one of the local boys here in Scotland, and boy, it shows then why he's out front, and he was good in the previous couple of races as well. Goes purple there with a 51.646 on lap number 3. Leading over Mark Oliver and James Holman currently. McEwen now goes purple. Farrier is behind Fox, so that's your top 5. Martin Shirley and Ian Manners battle down the hill, and down turn 1 is, oh, it looks like Neil Farrier maybe with a slowdown. He's slow out of turn 1. Contact there with McEwen, but they keep going. That was very close.
Yeah, that was very close to tears, but looks like all of them are still, well, they are pointing at the same direction. As you can see, oh, they're going to check up. That could have also ended in tears, Andrew.
Farrier gets it to Martin there a little bit, but they continue on. Wow. Already 10 cars, 11 cars in the pit lane. Lee Holmes, Joe Winter, Scott Malcolm, Shane Piggott, Carl Hardy, Nathan Davies, and some others. And that actually makes me wonder what in the world happened to some of those guys. I was actually about to mention Shane Piggott was in a really good spot after lap 1. And I'm surprised then that he's in the pit lane. Let's go back and find out here. Well, here we go. This is what happens in McIntyre, it looks like. Watch the Chrome 27 car. There's the issue with Alistair Hatcher and Stephen Daly up over the hill. And I noticed Shane Piggott in the background of all this was looking good. We hadn't seen much of him yet this season. He's in a Veloster, and this is down to turn 1. This might explain a lot of these guys' misfortune in the early goings here. Holman up the inside. Hardy almost gets him. Oh, Holman got into, was that Scott Malcolm he hit? Nathan Davies? Wow. Wow. That's just insane. And these guys, I think, might have had terminal suspension damage, so Piggott and Davies tow back to the pit lane there.
Yeah, so unfortunately for him, that's just how quickly your race can turn on its head, and unfortunately for him, it did. But yeah, Andrew, I think we only have 19 cars still running on the racetrack, which is really odd to see, I guess you can say. But you can see this battle, you see a little bit of
As
highlight
Alan
flashing.
just said in the chat, proper chaos.
Proper chaos. There you go. Perfect words. As you can see, this battle is still very much alive. This is a battle just outside, just inside the top 10, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, this is McEwen, Shirley, and Martin, isn't it?
Yeah, we're on board here with Daniel Martin following McEwen, and this is actually a really good view as to just how hard these guys are hitting the curbs. We'll work up turns 8 and 9 now, back over Duffus Dip. And that's the lap in the books here for Daniel Martin and company. McEwen with a good opportunity at Shirley, but he's got to go back through this battle. That's the problem of passing somebody in a battle here with the invert on the way, is then you've got to work back by them as Michael Seal goes purple. Seal is in the 9th. He started 30th.
He's doing a fantastic race. And while going fastest, he's the fastest car on the racetrack, so I expect him to, well, do plenty of more inroads. He still has well over halfway of the race still to run, so really good run for the number 57. He's looking on point, Andrew.
Look at Fiona.
Fiona Siddons just outside the top 10, it looks
13th.
like.
Just behind Ian Manners and Mick Anderson. Mick Anderson even back into 11th. Really good stories, I think, here in the midfield that, a lot of these drivers have had big problems today but are starting to work back into the order. Really cool to see Fiona and Mick in some really good spots here, 11th and 13th. And Fiona's not quite leading in amateur, unfortunately. Mark Oliver and Adam Fox have that one covered up, but this is still a really good points finish on the way for Fiona if she just keeps this one together, takes a look at the inside of Ian Manners, and stays back.
He's just going to stay back. That damage, I think I can see a little bit of damage. You might be able to confirm that, Andrew. As you can see, this battle right here is this... who is this actually?
Daniel Martin and Neil Ferrier just inside the top 10.
There
Ferrier going to go to the inside of Johnson now, or Martin rather, who slung that car out sideways. Martin gives that spot up to the apex.
Smartly.
That was very wise.
Yeah, very wise. Not risking a contact. Still 8 minutes to run. Currently inside the top 10. Exactly what he wants. Ferrier now moves up to 7th. He wants these two guys to keep battling right here. McEwen and Shirley for the top 5. And look at this. Look at the exit that McEwen got. Shirley got a little bit of a better exit. And he's going to close that door all the way to the wide line on the inside. McEwen's going to be forced to go to the outside. Shirley not coming back to the racing line. They might make a little bit of contact. They do. But looks like the number 5 is going to retain that position. But Andrew, once again, I feel like this battle is going to be very interesting to keep watching.
How much patience does Andy McEwen have for that? I think he's a little bit quicker, certainly, and it might be the car that's doing it, but he's quicker than Shirley. A miss of the apex there for car 5, and McEwen's going to go down to the apex of the chicane. Very dangerous there. Shirley gives it up. That was also very wise.
Also, he just needed a little bit of patience, and while Shirley unfortunately made a mistake on his own, Neil Ferrier now, he's going to have either a lot or a little patience, just trying to pressure the number 5 to make a mistake right here. You can see how close he and Michael Seal is. Michael is absolutely flying, and Ferrier, I think, well, they're pretty much equal distance from each other, but, well, Neil's going to have to go to the outside. He switches to the inside on the last minute. Is he far alongside? Yes, he is. But yeah, that was argy-bargy.
And here comes Seal.
Yeah, look at this. We're going to go 3 wide, I think, maybe.
Seal and Shirley just doored each other back and forth. Now Seal on the inside, but he's on that tailing edge. And yes, he slides in behind Shirley there with Martin and Neve just behind. Neve completing that top 10. Oh, these guys are not done just yet. Look at this battle down to the chicane. Shirley just ahead of Michael Seal. Shirley is getting beaten around. He's getting bullied. But I think it's the car that's doing it. The Veloster just seems like it is not quite as good here at Knockhill.
Yeah, not as good. He's trying to battle all circumstances alongside. He's doing a fantastic job defending, if I so do add. Obviously, you can see he's often going down the inside to defend, and he's doing that exactly right here. But, well, look at Michael Seal trying to switch it to the inside on the last minute. He's not going to be able to, but on the outside, he carries a lot of speed. Can he get a good enough exit? I think he got it, and he might go side by side. He might look down the inside of turn 3.
On board here with Michael Seal. Down to Clark, and he hangs back for now. Very, very wise of Seal. He's staying patient, and he's having to battle back from a lot of adversity today. Looks to the inside of the chicane, stays back now. Only 5.5 minutes to go. It's worth mentioning that McEwen's up to 4th as Martin gets to the back end of Seal there. McEwen is up to 4th ahead of Adam Fox now. Mark Oliver still 2nd, but leading in amateur, and Scott Smith still leading this race overall. Holman and McEwen are technically that pro battle for the race win. They're just over a half second apart.
Just over half a second, and I don't think that's territory to go down the inside, Andrew, but as soon as you close in that gap, well, the driver ahead will need to keep his head open. Now look at Martin making a move. They're going to go side by side, and they're going to door bang as well to the straightaway. I'm really liking seeing this. As long as the two drivers keep pointing in the same direction, even more contact between those two.
Martin took a swipe there. Now, oh my goodness, that was never going to work. I don't know what he was trying to do there.
I think he just missed his braking spot, I hope.
Yeah, that was something aggressive there as everybody comes back over the chicane. Martin stopped, well, he's slow, moving slowly, but getting back rolling. He's got a lot of damage. That right front, that right front is broken.
Yeah, he should park it before he causes a little bit of damage to others' cars. But up ahead, the number 91 trying to make even more moves. He's chasing.
This is your pro win right here.
Yeah, look at this. All three of them going at it. Looks like Ferrier's going to have the inside line. He might have the position over McEwen. But McEwen gets a really good exit. That's not going to be good enough for the number 91. And Holman, well, he's trying to hold off for as long as possible. Closes the door on McEwen, which is exactly what he needed. Andrew, 4 minutes to go. I don't think we can choose the winner.
This race is not over yet for these couple of spots. Holman now on the inside of the chicane. McEwen backs out. McEwen is really, really good in this touring car. I did not expect this. He certainly didn't expect this. Now goes off track a little bit. And, contact there with Ferrier, but he's not done. Still side by side for second. He gives that up now, recognizing that he made the mistake. But he's just so good.
Ferrier jumped the curb. Yeah, McEwen's doing really well this round. But look at this battle. Look at who's closing up, Andrew. Fox, Shirley as well closing up. Everybody really close up to this battle right here.
Seal gets into Fox.
Really outbraking himself. Luckily for him, no one really got a lot of damage from that, but it looks like Fox might lose that position. Ferrier is going to go down the inside of the Audi. Looks like the Audi was struggling on the exit of turn number 1. And gets the position. Can he hold it on exit? Yes, he can.
Adam Fox now to Michael Seal. Seal goes on by easily. Fox gives that one up. McEwen now follows Holman, and Ferrier, I think, is gone. He's going to win this pro race. He just won overall, started 20th, and he's going to win in pro again. Albeit not overall. And the race isn't over just yet, but I mean, just the way that 91 car has been so fast today, I don't think anybody catches him here in this little run to the end. On board with McEwen. Holman breaks very early. McEwen, no, I don't think it was early at all. McEwen just ran very, very deep into the corner. Gives that spot right back up to James Holman.
Yeah, just gave that spot right back. So Holman now is doing everything he can to essentially hold off to a second place. And this is a battle, I think, for 12th place, Andrew. Yes, it is. This is Matt Johnson, right?
Yeah, Manners with the cross back over Johnson. Johnson with the lunge in turn 1. Oh, Michael Seal, again, looking at, I feel for Martin Shirley at this point. He has seen 3 different blue and orange Time for Fun cars in his mirrors, all just trying to get on by him. He's had to block them all at some point today. And another one here, Michael Seal, all over him.
Yeah, Michael Seal is really trying to push, really trying to get a position. And I think this might be his chance. He's really close. His teammate also is really closing up. Neve just behind. You can see once again, Shirley goes defensive. Seal's going to have to settle for the outside lane.
Oh, they stack up on the bottom.
Oh, and this is perfect for him.
They all stacked up on the bottom, and now Seal's alongside McEwen with a big run out of the corner. Seal up to the 5th spot, now into the top 5. McEwen leans back and gives that spot up to his teammate. Shirley hangs over Neve, though. This is insane.
That's 25 positions for Seal, isn't it?
Yeah, continues his run through this field.
This is Lewis Hamilton on Brazil all over here, and he's doing a fantastic job. If this race was longer, I feel like he could have gone all the way to the top. Look at Shirley, though, going down the inside of McEwen. He's going to lose a lot of time on the exit. But, wow, this race is absolutely insane. And look at this. Neil Ferrier really closing it to Oliver. He's going to have a look down the inside of turn number 1. This is the second to last lap, so he's not going to be able to catch Smith, but he's definitely going to be able to get second place, and he does. Oliver doesn't fight too hard. still leading his class on 3rd place overall. This is a battle I'm looking forward to, Andrew. When we're, well, 2 laps to go, it's still wide open for 2nd place in the Pro class.
McEwen takes that spot back away from Seal and is now back on the rear end of James Holman. Looks left, Holman blocks, now down to Clark. Holman on the inside, that gives McEwen the run here for the chicane. Holman drives him into the grass. That's where you have to be careful. You can't drive people into the grass like that. I don't care how much you want to defend for the position. It's going to lead to crashes.
Absolutely. Holman really defending quite aggressive. You can see going defensive even on this last part of the circuit.
Oh, Michael Seal gets turned by Martin Shirley.
He saves it.
No.
Yes.
From 30th up to 5th, he gets turned here, coming to the white flag, and he's now down to the 12th spot. Back up towards the front. Here we go, Holman and McEwen again. This the battle now for 4th.
For 4th, 2nd place in his class. In the Pro class, sorry. And yeah, looks like Holman got a good enough exit down in turn number 1 to not worry about turn number 3. But, well, just ahead, Andrew. This is, well, Smith. Car looking in amazing condition. Looks brand new, just came out of the factory. Well, leading this race, dominating, 7 seconds ahead of Neil Ferrier. Fantastic race for him, a Pro-Am winning overall.
Simply fantastic here for Scott Smith in race number 3. He's going to take this win by force. Oh, we've got trouble further back. McEwen out in the dirt. Holman and Neve swap spots, and this is up the hill. Shirley contact there, and here comes Mick Anderson in all of this. He's going to go for a top 5 to the line. Can he get 4th through the middle? Yes, Mick Anderson takes that spot.
Fantastic, coming over pretty much nowhere to finish 2nd place on the Pro class. Really good drive from the whole field, Andrew. I'm pretty happy about this.
And Ferrier does take the Pro win. Oliver takes the Am win. Our top 3 different classes represented. We've got some replays to go back and look at this time again. The lead lap cars are about to finish up. Andrew Littler, the last one to come across the line. He's on the front stretch now, and he will finish this race. There he goes across the start-finish line, and Barney can give his arm a rest. There we go. So let's go back and get some of these replays first that have so much impact on the finishing order here with these guys up front. First, we want to get Seal. Michael Seal, I think, is going to be the first one that we got to talk about here, and this is a good look at it here. Shirley up the inside, very, very deep, and he just turned him.
Yeah, I guess that's the bottom line. Just turned it. Really unfortunate for Seal after that amazing comeback race.
Here we go. Here's McEwen and Holman. This is down to turn 1. And their issue comes a little later in the lap, right back in that same kind of sector that we saw Seal get turned. But we'll see all of this set up, and you can see the battle behind with Shirley and company. Shirley and Neve here. Mick Anderson was just quietly waiting. He was in like the 8th, 9th position most of this race, and just quietly is able to work up there and take a really good finish. Now, Holman also lost spots out of this, so here they go, blocking again down to the chicane. McEwen goes back to the outside, sets him up for a run. I'd imagine he gets side by side here somewhere. Goes to the outside, and oh, Shirley made it 3 wide. Contact there with Shirley and Holman. They keep running. Here comes Neve, and Holman, just nothing he could do there. And here comes Mick Anderson. Watch this move from his onboard.
That was excellent. Just threading the needle. Look at Shirley coming back.
Wow.
Wow.
Amazing stuff there from car 66. That was fantastic.
That was absolutely fantastic. I'm pretty sure he's going to be really happy about this result.
Go ahead and fire up the spinning wheel one more time today. In fact, for the final time today, as we get ready for race number 4 here in a few moments. Where shall it land? We've had 10, we've had 20. It's going to be full? Or 24?
Oh?
It's full. Oh my goodness. Now, regardless of if it had been full or 24, it's going to be the same result. It's going to be 18 cars to get inverted because 19th on back was 3 laps down or more. But the sentiment of having a full invert for the last race of the day is always quite nice. Let's go ahead and come back to the sim and bring up our unofficial race 3 results.
Scott Smith is going to finish in 1st place ahead of Neil Ferrier. So our Pro-Am winner is going to finish in 1st place. Our Pro winner in 2nd. Mark Oliver is going to finish 3rd. Mick Anderson in 4th. James Neve in 5th. 6th place goes the way of Martin Shirley. 7th goes the way of James Holman. Andrew McEwen in 8th. Fiona Siddons in 9th. And Martin Johnston in 10th place.
Finishing 11th, you've got car 910 of Adam Fox. Michael Seal takes 12th after all of that calamity. So he will be inverted towards the front, but not as far, well, it's just not the result he would have wanted there. Alistair Hatcher in 13th after falling back in those early laps. Robin Walters there in 14th spot. Ian Manners 15th. Duncan Coates 16th. Andrew Littler 17th, your final car on the lead lap. And then Roger Morton, you can see, will get the pole now. 1 lap down will put him first, and 18 cars will be inverted. That means Littler will start from 2nd, Cope from 3rd, Manners from 4th, Walters from 5th, Hatcher from 6th, Seal from 7th, and Fox from 8th, as Malcolm and Martin will miss out.
Also missing out is Shane Piggott in 21st place, Lee Holmes in 22nd, Carl Hardy 23rd, and you can see from Carl Hardy, Nathan Davies, Joe Winter, and Sam Smith, all of them 17 laps down. Stephen Daly, Chris Knox, Alan Toon, and Craig Schild, Andrew, all of them 18 laps down.
So 30 cars once again. Craig Schill, the worst of them in this race, with Stephen Daly, Chris Knox, and Alan Toon back there, and big issues for some of those guys. But hey, a Pro-Am driver back in victory lane, and that is now the first Pro-Am win that we have this season, because Farrier, Seal, and McEwen, that had previously won races as Pro-Am drivers, JP, they are all now pros. So Scott Smith, properly now the first Pro-Am winner of this season. A big win there for car 502. Let's go ahead and bring in driver 927, though, Fiona Siddons, a top 10 in that race, JP. That is huge. In fact, that is second in class. And here is Fiona Siddons.
So Fiona, overall top 10, pretty sure second place in your class. How does that feel?
Oh, that's a mini victory. I'm trying to get somebody to pinch me at the minute. That's the first time in either the MX-5 or touring cars I've had an overall top 10, so I'm very happy now.
So there you go, first overall top 10. With an invert, unfortunately, you're going to be placed not quite a few ways back, but just outside. Do you think you can repeat this result in race number 4?
I'll try. It won't be for the lack of trying if I don't. But you need a bit of training on the spinning wheel. 'Cause when I'm at the back, you have a 10 reverse. When I'm in the top 10, you have a full.
It's all down to bad luck. But Fiona, I mean, how much is luck involved, especially here in Knockhill?
It's a fair amount of luck. I mean, there's a lot of incidents in front of me what got me into the top 10, but I was running pretty well even before the couple of cars dropped off and let me into the top 10.
Well, absolutely. And yeah, I mean, how has been the roller coaster? Is it more or less difficult than the MX-5?
It is more difficult to drive, but you have a little bit of contact and it's more forgiving on that, so it's easier to have a battle.
Well, absolutely, Fiona. With that being said, I'm going to let you focus on race number 4. Hopefully, another top 10 incoming. But I guarantee you, we're definitely going to be cheering for you. But with that being said, I'm going to let you focus, and hopefully we can talk to you after that.
Yeah, thank you. And thank you to everybody in Result Clothing who was cheering me on there.
Absolutely. With that being said, well, I'm going to let you focus. And Andrew, that was Fiona Siddons. Hopefully, you know, another overall top 10 coming her way. Sounded pretty happy, to be honest.
Oh yeah, certainly reason to be happy. A top 10 for Fiona. That's got to be one of the first times we've ever seen that for car 927. Obviously, there was a lot of calamity at the end that contributed to that, but you have to be in the position to take advantage of those opportunities. That's why you have to keep a clean race throughout the day. And she had contact at the start there, but definitely worked on through the field and just kept herself in position. It's those quiet, consistent kind of races where you're able to take advantage of guys having issues that really, really matter and put some points on the board when you need them, and that's a big one for Fiona Siddons. We will take a step aside here before we get ready for race number 4. It's hard to believe, JP, the day has gone on by that quickly, but we are ready for the final race of the day. Stay along with us here at Pit Stop TV. We've got more racing in just a few. Welcome back to the virtual Knockhill Racing Circuit. Hey, I remembered the track name that time, JP. Be proud of me here as we get ready for the 4th race of the day. Round number 3 has gone speeding on by, much like these guys heading around Clark Curve right now, heading around turn number 3. As you can see, we are into the nighttime here. Lights are back on, just like race 1. It is going to be an interesting one. I think there's certainly some temper starting to overflow, and definitely some drivers with differing opinions over some contact and blocking and such, and it's going to come to a head here, I think, in race 4.
Absolutely, it's going to be very interesting to see. Obviously, excuse me, it's going to be the last chance for drivers to get as many points as they can to move ahead of their championship contenders. But yeah, Andrew, the invert was fun. It's going to be interesting to see how it all comes down in racing.
Yeah, it was 18 cars getting inverted there before this one. So between races 3 and 4, as we have, it looks like 28 of our 30 cars making it into this final race of the day. This will be interesting. Roger Morton on pole, Andrew Littler second, then Ian Manners, Robin Walters, Alistair Hatcher, your top 5. Michael Seal has been a feel-good story throughout the day. Started off pretty poorly and has worked his way back up towards the front and is now starting from 6th in this race, as well as Fiona Siddons, who is now starting from 9th. So it seems like one driver that was ahead of her not taking to the grid today, not joining this race. So she will move up one spot and start from where she just finished in race number 3. Andy McEwen is going to try and get some points back after that contact and that slide off the racetrack with James Holman and Martin Shirley. These guys have been crazy today. It's been really fun to watch. Neil Ferrier has a race win on the day, and Scott Smith just won race number 3 overall. And some of the guys really deep in the field that I think really need a good race are Chris Knox and some others, but we have got cars ready to go racing for race number 4, so we will hand it over to the hands of Barney the Flagman to get this race started. Green flag is out. Already contact, big contact. Oh boy.
Oh yeah, 2 cars facing the wrong direction. One side swope normally the entire field down into turn number 1. You can see cars still rejoining the track after that contact, but wow, indeed, Andrew.
Shane Piggott now is, he's registered as your leader, but now that changes. Roger Morton leading as we head over the chicane for the first time. Michael Seal got through that. He is 3rd place. 4th is Alistair Hatcher, and that driver challenging the leader. Oh, contact, I think. Hatcher and Ferrier out in the dirt. Wow. Neil Ferrier is going to have a terrible, terrible last result on the day. Ian Manners, though, challenging here for the race lead with Roger Morton. Lap 1 in the books.
Yeah, just lap 1, Andrew. Still plenty of racing still to go. This is going to get very, very interesting, though. Already getting very interesting between these two, battling for not only the overall win, but, well, the class win as well. But yeah, already a hectic lap 1. Lap 1, turn 1, actually.
Let's go back and see some of this. I know it was, I gotta find it again. Was it Martin Johnson? Yes, I believe so. Martin Johnson in car 505 that was in the center of a lot of this. So we'll wait on the green flag here. And it should be coming just about any moment. We might have gone a little too far back in the replay, but watch the white 505 here in a second. Once they do finally roll, we'll get there eventually. We're getting there. And I promise it's on the way. They will start this race at some point today. There we go. They'll roll up. Really big start there for Holman. Mick Anderson through the grass, 4-5 wide across the line. Anderson comes back over. Fiona Siddons there, and there's just contact with, oh my goodness. Into Andrew Littler and one of his teammates, even from Distinction Motorsport, and they pile in James Neve there. Wow.
Wow, indeed. That was a big contact, and unfortunately for a few of those drivers, well, that was already setting back their race number 4. As you can see, Shane Piggott setting the fast lap of the race. But yeah, Andrew had really
watch this with Alistair Hatcher.
Crazy start, and it's gonna get crazy. And I wonder what happened with Alistair.
Into the grass and Neil did the same thing.
Yeah. Just followed. Oh no.
Neil did the exact same thing, and Neil Ferrier down the order as well. They are now the last 2 cars in the order with just a couple of laps complete. We're on to lap number 3, and we'll come back to live picture because we've had a lead change, and let's go actually go back and pull the replay for this and where it happened, because Michael Seal has taken the lead from Roger Morton and Ian Manners, and this is a pretty good battle that we'll have to go back and see here. So So watch the blue and orange 57 all over Ian Manners here. This was lap 2, I believe, coming to the conclusion here of this second lap. Manners gets a run there on Morton. Morton was a little bit slow over the hill, and 3 wide they go, sealed to the bottom side. That's one way to take the lead.
Absolutely. That's one brilliant way to take the lead, and pretty bold as well, isn't it, Andrew?
He's not done just yet. There is where he gets the power down over Ian Manners, and I think this goes all the way down to Clark as well before he finally clears Ian. And yeah, Ian just didn't want to give it up. Now, Ian is still in the second spot overall, and they just kind of get in line from there. But Roger Morton is starting to fall down the order a little bit. Just got into battle with Mick Anderson, who's now down to the 5th position, as we'll come back in from replay and join these guys in the order, headed down Railway Bend and to Clark for the 5th time now as we're on to lap number 5. Some battles for the back. Shane Piggott, Mark Oliver. Piggott's going to take that spot away, and into 18th he will go.
18th, he set a fast lap a few laps ago, so trying to do a comeback race. You can see this is coming into turn number 3. Might see a little bit of contact. That's McEwen, isn't it? Just got
No,
past
this is James Neve.
Oh, this is James Neve. All right, so there you go. So Neve making a few moves as well down the chicane, and well, looks like he's just gonna get. Is that Nathan Davies just behind him?
Yes, Nathan Davies just behind, and then Chris Knox there as well, chasing Craig Schill and Scott Smith, who's in 12th now. McEwen goes purple way up front, and oh, Davies and Knox go way out wide and barely missed that pit-in wall.
That was really close between those two as we cut ahead. This is Martin Shirley. Looks like he's defending from Daly just behind him, and they're gonna go. Well, Shirley's gonna keep that position for the time being. I wonder if we'll see a challenge down into turn number 3. Not quite close enough. The exit from Daly was really good, but not close enough, Andrew. And still 10 minutes to go. I don't think drivers will be challenging too much as they go down the chicane. Oh, as we have even more contact. This is Adam Fox. Just while Winter was, I guess, quite aggressive around there.
Winter goes on by. Now Fox might even let Hardy go on by. Fox is your amateur leader, but he can't back up too far. There are other cars in this race as he goes off track a little bit there. He's actually got all the way back to Mark Oliver, though. He's got 16 seconds to be safe as Alistair Hatcher is out of this race, and big issues for a lot of the amateur guys. Hardy following here, and Hardy has that new paint on his car. I really like that. Green accents there. You can see his name on the front of the car as well.
Yeah, really good to see him. It's going to be really good also for him.
And these are technically teammates.
Technically, oh yeah, true, but I'm pretty sure Hardy won't be holding 2 back if he has an opportunity to close up the gap. Obviously, still a big gap between him and the other Pro-Am drivers, but look at this behind Andrew. This battle is still very much alive. This is a battle for 6th place right here. Surely, looks like it doesn't look like, he has not been yielding to anyone so far in this race, really going defensive, really trying to hold off his positions, and I'm pretty sure it's not going to be any different with Daly just behind him.
You see the battle behind these guys even, Winter and Holman, as, oh, there we go, Daly at the inside of Shirley. 3 great battles here on the front stretch as they work through turn 1. Winter battling here with Holman side by side. They will go out of the corner as Shirley has to give that spot up to Daly, and now Winter takes the spot over Holman. So teammates will meet in the middle. The Exemplia cars 5 and 11 now in order in 7th and 8th. And Roger Morton side by side with Ian Manners here down the chicane. Contact almost.
Oh, they're gonna go side by side. Look at the amount of time.
Oh, you're
no!
kidding me.
That was way too ambitious from Daly.
That was way too aggressive.
And unfortunately look at that. Look at how much time he's losing.
I know these are sprint races. They're only 15 minutes. I get it. But there's still time to wait a corner. There's time to be smart at the very least. And we just haven't seen much of it. I hate to come down on these drivers. I really do. But we continue to see drivers getting taken out for no reason. And it gets a little bit old after a while.
And you can see they're going to go side by side through the chicane. That's really going to slow both of them down. And Daly obviously taking the racing line. He's going to carry a lot more speed. He looks to the inside, but yeah, there's not a lot of space. That's not an overtaking corner right there.
No, it's not. It already wasn't. Morton, in fairness, was aggressive, trying to go side by side, but, at least Morton didn't crash anybody. Best way to put it.
Yeah,
we want to see racing. We want to see good racing. We don't want to see crashing, and it's nothing against anybody personally here. It's just we don't want to see the crashes. And when there's silly moves like that made, I I don't know, or not, it's not even a move, it just wasn't checking up. It's not any kind of, there's just no respect sometimes. As Daly makes a move on here on Manners. That was fine, that was a good move. That was a good pass there to get by Ian Manners in car 501, and now Joe Winter will have an opportunity at the Pro-Am driver as well. And Manners, your Pro-Am leader.
So yeah, Manners obviously right now has a big gap, and look at this. We're already going to see a switch up down to the chicane again. This time is going to be a little bit cleaner, and yes, it is. Both drivers not losing a lot of time, Andrew. That's exactly what we want to see.
Good move there from Winter, and Shirley has fallen back behind. So Shirley, I think, let his teammate go on through, recognizing that Joe was just a little bit quicker and has fallen back now to where Shirley could have to battle with Holman again. That would be interesting between an Audi RS3 and a Hyundai Veloster, potentially. Our Hardy's a little further back in this top 10, just behind Adam Fox, who is your amateur leader. And Scott Smith is even in this battle as well as, oh, look at this. Nathan Davies on the inside of Smith. Contact, and Smith loses that spot.
Yes, Smith loses that spot. He might lose another one if he's not too careful, because I'm pretty sure Neve won't take a lot of prisoners. He's being really squeezed, trying to maybe get a cutoff. Yeah, he's going to get a really good run. He's going to have the inside, and I feel at this point Smith is going to have to yield. Yes, he does. So yeah, really good attack move over and under from Neve right there. And you can see them a little bit of bumper meeting, almost contact, but wow, a well-executed overtake.
And teammates are close for the race lead as well. McEwen and Seal are very close now as they work through Taylor's, and there's Fiona Siddons about to go one lap down. She has not had the race she wanted here in race number 4 to finish off the day. In 9th place in race 3, and things just have not gone right. She parks the apex, and oh, that holds McEwen up ever so slightly. But Seal is off.
Oh, Seal's going to rejoin, but yeah, that's
Teammates.
the advantage of having your teammate just behind you, because if that was a fellow competitor, I don't think we would have seen the same thing.
No. And that's respect. McEwen realizes that he's still got 4.5 minutes to try and battle here, and it's not just in that moment. That's not the final corner of the race. You don't have to force the issue there, and he's going to set him up and go after this position a little bit better. So that's just that kind of respect, and again, I don't know, like you were saying, I don't know if it wasn't a teammate that he would have gone to that length, but I certainly would like to imagine so, and that's the kind of thing we like to see, is these guys understanding, yes, it's a short race, but you can still race smart.
Absolutely. These guys, well, they want to change as well positions. This is Daly chasing Anderson just ahead. It's a battle for 3rd place, so this is a spot for the overall podium. Daly currently sitting around half a second behind the number 66, so he needs to close that gap down within the next few laps if he wants a chance. I like seeing, Andrew, the drivers really taking those big curbs, and really like seeing the TCRs on 2 wheels. It's quite a sight, not gonna lie. But if I was in the cockpit, I would get pretty scared really easily.
Winter just got a little squirrely there in the Veloster over the curbing through the chicane. Hangs on to it, though. Davies now in the top 10, got by Hardy, got by Smith, and Neve is there side by side. They'll come up the hill. And that's corners 8 and 9. Even Chris Knox in this battle in 14th position. We know he's going to be aggressive.
Yeah, he's going to get a good run. You can see Neve going a little bit defensive, and he might just have this, but look at it. I love how Chris Knox is aggressive on the brake. He's going to have to get a good exit if he wants to keep that overtaking position, and I feel like he does, but he needs to clear James Neve before turn 3 entry, and I don't think he'll have enough road for that. As you can see, drivers ahead of him are also going, well, side by side, but oh my God, that was amazing, and he missed it, no contact.
He saved the car, and he gets back in line now in the 14th spot. And, oh, battle for the race lead. McEwen takes a spot away here from Michael Seal on the front stretch. A change up front. McEwen's got the lead.
Either that was a mistake or that was a switch up between the teammates, because Seal was going way below the racing speed down into the main straightaway, I think. So it may have been a tactical switch up, I guess you can say.
Go ahead and find out. Michael Seal out of turn 9, moves over. I wonder if he had gotten a slowdown. I wonder if he got the chicane too close and got a slowdown and opted to let McEwen go on by there, knowing that he would have to at some point. Regardless, gives the spot up to his teammate, and will have to fight back for it now with just about 2 minutes to go. Carl Hardy and Adam Fox, they're side by side into Clark. And we rejoin here as Chris Knox is in all of this contact there with Neve. They're not done.
They're not done. They're going to go side by side through the chicane. Not quite. Chris lives a little bit of room. That's going to compromise a little bit of his exit, but he gets it all settled down. This is an intense battle, Andrew. Oh, is this Ferrier?
That
or
is
Winter?
Stephen Daly into the pit lane.
Daly, not Winter. Yeah. So he's going to get
penalty.
Yeah, that's going to be penalty, and unfortunately forgetting to check tires. That's going to be the end of his race, pretty much.
Yeah, I think he's already done. He got out of the car immediately. You saw the driver, the sim driver, just get out of the car immediately, disappear there. So he's done for the day. Winter on the back end of Anderson, or at least a few car lengths back. This is for third.
Yeah, so Anderson got
Our
a bit
pros
of
have risen back to the top here.
Yeah, top 7 full of pro drivers. Really good race for them. But yeah, Anderson got a little bit of breathing room from Daly coming into the pit lane, but well, Winter just closing right back in, Andrew. With around 2 laps to go, I dare say, this battle, well, could definitely heat up on the final or this lap.
2 laps to go. There's our leaders through turn 1. Adam Fox and, oh, look at this. Contact. Fox bullying Scott Smith over a little bit through 8 and 9, but it works out. Nobody crashes. I'm surprised, actually, nobody crashed. That's a really high-speed corner. Scott Smith, though, not relenting. On the inside now of Adam Fox, down to turn 1. This is for 11th, and he's hard on the brakes. It's actually for 12th spot, as Smith will get it. And that puts Fox into the hands of Craig Schill. Fox still your race leader in amateur. Boy, great stuff. And, Nathan Davies and Martin Shirley starting to go after it. We know these two have been aggressive today.
Absolutely. These two have been going at it. And, well, Andrew, with 20 seconds to go on the second last lap of the race, I'm pretty sure this battle is definitely going to be over. This is for 6th place, as looks like we enter the final lap of the race.
Yes, white flag is out for our leaders up ahead. This is the closest battle on the racetrack, though. This is for 6th. Shirley is going to have Davey's going to have the draft here on Shirley. Shirley defends down to the bottom side. Textbook defense there from Shirley. Takes the bottom side, then comes back over, side by side through 1, and gets into him a little bit, pushes him back off, and that might have been just enough for Shirley to hang on to this spot. Let's go up to our race leaders, though. McEwen and Seal, they are up into the final corners, and McEwen is going to come around McIntyre, and that issue with Seal is going to give McEwen a second win on the day. I don't think Andy McEwen has ever done that in BSR, but it is a second win in round number 3. Car 18 looking good this season.
Absolutely. His teammate finishing right behind him. That's going to be a dream result for them. Anderson's going to finish in 3rd place. Winter in 4th. Holman looks like he might just hold off for 5th. And Davies and Shirley, well...
They'll come to the line. Coming down the hill now. We're waiting on... There goes James Holman. And Davies just ahead of Winter and Manners.
Yeah, really good race. I think Davies really switched up. And Knox is going to finish in 9th place ahead of Neve. Fantastic race all around, Andrew. I'm really happy for race number 4. And Adam Fox, I feel like he might just hold off for the win.
Adam Fox definitely will hold off for the amateur race win ahead of plenty of cars. The next one was actually Mark Oliver. Yeah, he was the only amateur driver left on the lead lap there after it was all said and done. So easy pickings there for Adam Fox. Let's go ahead and bring up our unofficial race results from race number 4.
So Andrew McEwen is going to win, obviously 1st place for him. Michael Su is going to finish in 2nd place, his teammate. A dream result for those two. Mick Anderson, as we mentioned, in 3rd place. Joe Winter is going to finish in 4th, ahead of the number 4 of James Holman. Nathan Davies in 5th. Martin Shirley in 7th for an all-out top 7 full of pro drivers. Ian Manor is going to win the Pro-Am class in 8th, ahead of Chris Knox and James Neve in 10th place.
Finishing 11th, it's Carl Hardy for the Pro-Am, let's see, 1st, 2nd, 3rd place, it looks like, just behind James Neve and Ian Manners. Then it's Scott Smith, Adam Fox with that amateur win. Martin Johnson, 14th. Craig Schill, 15th. Shane Piggott, at least in the lead lap, starting to turn his season around a little bit in 16th spot. And Robin Walters in 17th position. Mark Oliver, your first car 1 lap down for the amateur class. And it's Roger Morton in 19th and Fiona Siddons in 20th. That's top 3 in amateur.
Stephen Daly is going to finish in 21st, ahead of Sam Smith. Lee Holmes, 23rd. Scott Malcolm, 24th. Andrew Littler, 25th. Alistair Hatcher ahead of Neil Ferrier. And Daniel Martin in 20th place.
Well, that was certainly wild. And I just want to harken back to a point before we have these driver interviews to close out the day. When we get to being critical of an incident, when we get to being critical of moves and such, and we had that move that was just purely far too aggressive from Stephen Daly, it's never personal. Stephen Daly is a great race car driver, just like Holman and Shirley with their blocking that I called out earlier. It's something it's Never anything personal. There we go. It's just a matter of looking at the incident and breaking it down and giving our honest opinions of it. That's what we try to do here at Pit Stop TV, is just purely stay honest. We don't want to manufacture anything. We don't want to try and hide anything. We're giving our honest opinions. We've looked at racing. We've done, we've raced ourselves on the sim, and some of us on the channel, even in real life, not myself, but we've seen a lot of racing. We've broken down a lot of racing. We've seen a lot of good racing, a lot of bad racing. It's just our honest opinion, and it's just that, an opinion. It's never anything personal, and we certainly would have a great conversation with a lot of these guys about what happened, and I'm sure we could all have a beer at the end of the day and just have a good time. That said, post-race interviews, JP, who do you want first? Do you want to get Neil Ferrier again or Andy McEwen?
I'll go for Neil, and I'll let you have Andy.
It always somehow works out where Andy gets interviewed by Andrew here at the channel. Anyways, let's go ahead and bring in Neil Ferrier. Not a great fourth race for him.
So Neil, after that win, you got a class win in race number 3, if I'm not mistaken, but race number 4 did not go your way, did it?
No, not at all. I wouldn't even call that a race, to be honest with you. What, 6 corners or something? Stupid wee mistake. Just ran that wee bit wide on into McIntyre's, and yeah, in iRacing you don't get away with just running the edge of the gravel quite like that on the brakes, and yeah, unfortunately it caught me out.
But race number 3, well, that one went your way. What was your view on it?
It was good. It was interesting. Getting through the pack, I was like, oh no, this has got to be quite hard with some of the drivers in front, and then I just seemed to get my head down and get through. Obviously a couple of incidents at the hairpin there that I got caught up on, so I had to watch what I was doing with the incident points and stuff. I think I ended up with 2 to play with at the end, so I was like, right, I just need to keep it clean here. And then, yeah, I don't know what happened to James Holman. He just seemed to lose top speed going on that back straight. So I got past him, and then, yeah, just went for second for there. Fair play to the AM driver that was in second for that most of the race there. He never made my move hard for me, so fair play to him. He didn't really have to fight me anyway because he was guaranteed a class 1 that way. So, and big Scott Smith, local track for him, getting a win tonight as well.
Well, absolutely. And looking towards next round, Sonoma, how do you tackle that after, well, pretty much across the pond on your home race, pretty far away from your home? What's the difference?
To be fair, I won't be at Sonoma. Unfortunately, I'm away working. But the way I would approach it is Sonoma's it's a technical track at the end. So I would approach it pretty much the same way as I did for this one. And just do the laps. Try and get the car to do what you need it to do. Because obviously it's completely different. Again, the last time I raced there was GT3, so it's totally different in front wheel drive. But I might spin a couple of laps before I go just to help Stephen out with a wee bit of a setup if he can make it as well. So I'll spin a few laps during the week before I go away on Thursday, unfortunately.
Well, absolutely, Neil. It's going to be unfortunate that we're not going to have you on the grid, but we're definitely going to be looking forward to the next round after Sonoma, and hopefully we can have you in, well, your pace and your overtakes right back. But with that being said, congratulations on the good results. Unfortunately for the bad ones, but, well, we'll catch you later.
Yeah, thank you. Again, thanks for putting the stream on, guys. It's been good to watch, and I will be watching when I'm at Silverstone next week.
Oh, absolutely. And Andrew, that was Neil Ferrier. Quite a roller coaster of races for him, but, well, I guess it was a good enough round. With an overall victory and a class victory, you can be really too, well, mispleased with that.
Yeah, he still had a good day of racing. He's going to drop a little bit, I think, from where he would have been, certainly. But he is still top 3 in the series as a whole, so really good season that he's putting together, and he's certainly not out of it by any means. Let's go on down the line, though, to our new points leader. In fact, the next two, we're going to have the top 3 in points here between our interviews. We just had Neil Ferrier. He's 3rd in points now after 4 races today. Ullman is 2nd, and McEwen leads. Let's go ahead and bring in Andy McEwen. Andy, 2 race wins. I think that's the first time we've ever said that for Andy McEwen. Good day, then.
You're right. That is the first time I've ever done that. I am made up, and 3 wins in a week, which is definitely a record. So, Yeah, what a night, hey! That was some of the most intense racing I have ever been a part of, and I enjoyed it. But there were a few times where I was my blood pressure was reaching boiling point. That's for sure.
Oh, it's certainly always stressful out there, but you battled through, and I think everybody was out there just trying to go for the same spots. That's literally what racing is. So it's always fun in that regard. 2 race wins, though. I thought this McEwen guy was just a commentator, couldn't race, and certainly not in these touring cars. You're maybe the best in the series right now.
Well, blimey, can I have that in writing, please? I'm gonna post that, stick it on my bedroom wall. I think.
Now, I did say maybe, to be fair.
Hey, I'll take it. Coming from you, Andrew, I'll take that. That's I wish I could explain it. I really do. I cannot begin to tell you how terrible I used to be in these things, but whatever the last big update was, it's completely transformed the car, and it's just so much fun to drive. I changed my setup actually tonight, about 5 minutes before qualifying started, from the one that I've been using all season, and thank God I did, because suddenly the car would jump over the curbs like I wanted it to, and it's such a nice feeling when you've got a car under you that does what you want it to do, and I'm really, really pleased that's the case at the moment.
So looking forward to Sonoma next week. I know you're a big NASCAR fan on the NASCAR course, the shorter course. How do you feel about that? How do you feel these Miatas and touring cars are going to do next week?
I think we'll see some good racing there, actually. I'm growing to prefer these tighter, more technical circuits, because you really have to think about your overtakes. Certainly in the MX-5s, you can't just, draft past someone and overtake them down the straight. So I really enjoy that kind of thing. I think Sonoma's a good track, especially for the TCRs. There are lots of big braking zones, lots of tight corners, which you can have a bit of a lunge at. So, I think that's going to be an entertaining week of racing.
I think it certainly will be. So, at least finishing off this British part of the schedule very, very nicely here. A couple of wins today and a win earlier in the week. Congratulations to you, Andy. And, we've got to watch out for Car 18, it sounds like, all season long.
Yeah, well, moved up to the pro class now, so I best start living up to that, eh?
I think you're doing a pretty good... you and Michael... Actually, what happened to Michael there on the end?
So, Michael... actually, I really should give Michael a shout-out, because he's been through it this week, bless him. And he is one of the nicest guys I have met. Forget people I've raced with or know through sim racing, just such a nice guy. And... we've worked well together as a team all season. He won that race when we had a 1-2 at Silverstone, and once I got into second behind him, we were chatting on Discord. We had a massive gap. The plan was always for him to let me through at some point, because you get a point for leading a lap these days. That's new for this season, so I wanted that extra point. And then when I got through, I said, "Do you want it back?" And he wouldn't let me give it back. So, I think he's decided this was going to be his drop round anyway, because the first few races didn't go well. It's by far the best night of racing I've ever had with BSR, so he very kindly let me keep the win. So, thanks, Michael. You're a good one.
There you go. Now we know, JP. So, Andy McEwen with a couple of race wins tonight. 5 laps led in this last race. Congratulations, buddy. We'll talk to you at Sonoma next week.
Cheers, mate. Looking forward to it.
That's Andy McEwen, a really big day of racing, and we'll move on down the line then to somebody who finishes 5th in this race, JP. But this pink and black Audi has been in the mix since Brands Hatch of last season. Let's bring in James Holman.
So James, I guess another string of good results for you. Definitely, we saw this Audi getting fantastic launch throughout the 4 races. But how was your overall racing?
It was awful. I've never enjoyed the only race I enjoyed was the race that I went around 4 seconds a lap slower and parked it on the apex. That was the only time I enjoyed the whole night, because the car was awful on the curbs, just kept launching and it wasn't landing. And I know I hold my hands up for what happened in the third race with Scott, I think it was. It was a terrible bit of driving. I apologise to Scott. I just want to make that clear on the stream. I apologise to him, because I just missed my braking point by a fraction and I turned him around and of course caused chaos. So sorry to him, and sorry to everyone who got involved in that shunt. It was not good driving, but anyway, rest of the evening was okay. I got my karma in the last race. I got wiped out at the start, and then got turned around a couple of times in the race. So I guess that was a bit of karma there, but still got a P5 out of it, so which was okay. But yeah, no, not really much to say about tonight. Didn't have much pace. Yeah, looking forward to next week.
Yeah, I was just gonna ask you, since tonight wasn't, I guess, the best of 4 races, how do you feel about Sonoma?
Yeah, Sonoma's. Well, I haven't done any laps on a TCR round. I don't think I've done some laps on an MX-5 a few months back, but good little track. Enjoy the rallycross there. Hopefully, I won't do too much of that next week. But yeah, so no, it's a good little track. I don't know who it'll suit. I think it'll be better. It's a fairly flat. Hopefully, it'll suit the Audi a bit better. But there's still lots of long corners where the Hyundai seems to have the edge on the Audi. So we'll see. I mean, the starts are obviously the strong point for the Audi, and hopefully I can make the most of that. And it's uphill start as well, so it's even better for the Audi. So yeah, so we'll see how we go. Hopefully next week will be good. And I mean, I'm sure I'll have a qualifying ban and possibly a pit lane start. So actually, I probably won't get to make use of those starts very often next week, because I fully expect to get a penalty for that race 3. So yeah, we'll see what happens. But yeah, looking forward to it, and hopefully I can have a clean night. That's all I wanted tonight, actually. Ironically, was a clean night, and it didn't work. But c'est la vie, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. But well, hopefully next week it'll go more your way. And yeah, I guess you pretty much summed everything up. 2 questions, amazing answers. With that being said, James, hopefully we can talk to you next week, and well, best of luck.
Yeah, I hope to talk in better circumstances. I